3. New speed awakens. Ryumi, dare to leap.
PUBG Mobile 2.1 White Paper Full Overview. Hello there, PUBG Mobile players. PUBG Mobile 2.1 is now available. After several months of hard work, we've added more fun and interesting content to the existing gameplay. At the same time, Ancient Secret Arise, which everyone has been looking forward to, has returned. Are you ready? In this video, we will be introducing the exciting new contents of this version. We hope you like them. Themed gameplay, Ancient Secret Arise. In this new version, Ancient Secret Arise has returned with improvements. It'll be launching in Erangel, Miramar, and Livik. Players can choose any of these maps in ranked mode to experience its varied content and unique performances. On Spawn Island, players will be greeted with a spectacular sense of swirling golden sand, as well as a mysterious and breathtaking sand apparition. After the match starts, the Sandstorm Zone will appear at a random place on the map. In the Sandstorm Zone, players will be able to pick up lots of supplies and the mysterious Scarab Charm. Any player who has a Scarab Charm will be able to return to the battleground after getting defeated for a set period of time. However, please note that a Recall Tower attempt will be used after activating a Scarab Charm to return to the battleground, and each player can only pick up one Scarab Charm in each match. Players can also pass through the Quicksand Path to enter the Emperor Temple. Compared to the previous Nimbus Islands of various modes, the Emperor Temple has more supplies and a much larger area. At the same time, the Sand Giant will move around the battlefield with the Ancient Secret on its back, which creates more possibilities on the battleground. Remember to watch the route on the minimap carefully so that you can jump back into the play zone if the Sand Giant leaves the play zone. The Pharaoh has prepared many trials in the depths of the Emperor Temple. Pass these trials and you will receive extra spoils. Remember, before activating the Pharaoh, it is possible for players to move freely between the Ancient Secret and the map. However, once the Pharaoh has been activated, players will no longer be able to hop onto the Ancient Secret. Other than the Emperor Temple, there are several Scarab Ruins and Jackal Ruins spread throughout the battleground. Players can go to these ruins and solve their puzzles to get crate rewards. One thing to be aware of, there are also Mummy Warriors and Guardian Beasts lurking in these ruins, so be careful at all times. Other than regular weapons and equipment, players also have a chance to get a new item called Primordial Water, which can recover all your health and energy. Lots of Scorpion crates have been added to this themed mode. Defeat the Golden Scorpions guarding the crates, and you will be able to get the valuable supplies hidden within. The new Desert Merchant is also a good place to get supplies. Save up shop tokens to buy combat supplies from the merchant, and there's even the chance of getting random discounts on items. Basic experience improvements. Besides the new mode, we've also made firearm improvements. We've slightly reduced the damage drop-off of the Uzi and Vector, slightly increased the hip-fire spread of the UMP-45, and slightly nerfed the effects of the laser sight attachment. We also raised the base damage of the Thompson SMG. At the same time, we've slightly increased its bullet speed. As for the PP-19 Bison, we've slightly increased its rate of fire to improve weapon efficiency. In the case of assault rifles, we raised the limb damage of the AKM and slightly improved its aim assist. We've also reduced the recoil of the Scar L and slightly increased the base damage and damage drop-off at longer distance of other weapons. This version also introduced the AMR, a powerful sniper rifle that can deal damage to enemies through vehicles and deal massive damage to vehicles. It takes exclusive 50 caliber rounds that are capable of striking players in vehicles. Season updates. Cycle 3 will officially start after the major version update. The C3S7 set, C3S7 parachute, and other legendary outfits will be added to the Season Rewards pack. In the new season, we've also added a season bonus point card and rating protection card that can only be used during the season to help everyone climb the ranks even faster. Individual training grounds, sound location training. In the new version, we've added a sound location training system to the training grounds. Players can use this to train their ability to locate enemies by listening to gunshot sounds and footstep sounds, which will help players become more aware of their surroundings during a match. Other updates. Other than the updates mentioned above, the PUBG Mobile x Blackpink collaboration has prepared a virtual concert for everyone. Let's all have lots of fun in the game this summer. That's all for this video. We hope that version 2.1 will give everyone a better gaming experience. For more details, feel free to follow the official PUBG Mobile community. See you next time.
Hey, you've changed.
I have?
Yesterday you ate nasi lemak sotong. Today you are eating nasi lemak ayam. Who you are today is not the same person 10 years ago or even yesterday. And that's okay. Yoodo is all about change. Stop conforming and go your own direction. Because sometimes you change to set the trend. Embrace the new and do it your way. Like right now, I'm addicted to. Then sometimes change is forced upon you. We say just vibe with it. And if you want to change your plans, you can do it safely. We are fully digital, so you don't even have to queue outside the telco store. Sometimes you change because it just feels right. Forget what other people say because we save contracts. Change your hobby. Congratulations. Change your plans. Change your job. Change your plans. Huh. Change your wedding plans. Change can come anytime, anywhere. And Yoodo is ready to change when you want to do it your way.
So change is good, right? Only when you're ready for it. Man eating nasi lemak. And when you are, change can start by downloading the Yoodo app.
Save more when you customize your data, voice, and SMS with the Yoodo app. Change comes when you do it your way today.
Hope you guys have already gotten yourself dinner this time around. And of course, we are back for more here in the 2022 PMPL MYSGPH Fall. It's Keith here alongside with me. Yeah, I felt like it's getting a little bit hot, so my jacket's going to be off for now. But my name's Contra, and we're going to get more action as we hit into our second map of Erangel.
Yeah, I was just wondering, what happened to the wardrobe change? I didn't even see that one coming. It seems like Contra himself is a man full of mystery, being able to pull magic out of his hat, or he might just have a secret power. Who, by the way, just got themselves a chicken dinner, so congratulations on that one. But first, let's take a look at Team Secret and how they fare against the competition in this match of Erangels. Team Secret, 9 kills, 2,000 over damage, but that is nothing compared to the likes of Bosskurr, who has 10, Team Hawk 10 of their own, and Crit VIP, my god. It's been a while since we've seen them on top of the leaderboards, and right now, with that 10 kills, that might just be a kick towards the right direction.
That's right, and on top of that list is going to be Crit VIP's very own Razor with 942 points of damage being done. As we're closing in with 915 as well, and 701 for eye shots of Team Secret. So it's great. This is many of these teams bouncing to the top of the top 5 brackets. Now, we're going to be taking a look at the groups that we'll be playing for our second matchup inside of Miramar in Map 3. This is going to be Group A, B, C, as well as E. So Group D with Genexus, Don't Break Dreams, Axis Rate 1, as well as MUGEN. These names, they're not going to play this match.
Yeah, they won't be. So unfortunately for Genexus, they've had quite a rough start for today itself in week number 3. Already 2 bad maps, and now they have to sit out on this one. They have to pull themselves back through comes Miramar later on, but now they will have to hope that they don't drift further down into the ladder, because already I think we saw they were at over 6 to the 8th position. A little bit more of that one. Oh, was it on the second draft?
Perhaps so.
I think the second draft, right? Because they haven't been
They were on
performing.
9, 10, 11.
Yeah, it's getting rough for Genexus, but we will hold that hope up high. And first, keep holding the hope to actually get yourself this brand new KL Gangster voice pack from Malik and Shark, for the Malaysian fans especially. You can get them for free by showing up at any one of those live, what is the word? Watch party. Live watch parties that's happening around places near you. One in Perak over at Ipoh Parade and one over in Sabah for Surya Sabah.
That's right, and we're going to be celebrating every weekend as well as every Wednesday because Rabu Padu is here. You can gain yourself that lilac attack suit by just playing with your lads out there. Earn 3 chicken dinners and you get those tokens. Exchange it for items like what you see on your screen.
Yeah, it's all neon green and blue. That seems to be the theme here. It's as if it's just glowing right in the dark here. Now, this is also another aesthetic choice in which you can earn or grind per se by getting yourself the Royal Pass M13, the Mecha Sanctum set. It's available, but first you have to buy it and then start grinding for it. It's a small price to pay for a really handsome outfit.
That's right. You can relieve the rush here as we have the brand new collaboration between PUBG Mobile as well as Koenigsegg. And man, I wish I can get my hands on this one.
Yeah, I mean, don't we all? Sure, it's probably not electric, but hey, who cares about that when it's got a lot of performance right to back it all up. And talking about, you know, pretty exterior with a powerful interior. That is probably the theme for this upcoming Axe suit here. Teasing us a little bit with some alien technology. Something's happening down in the middle. You're gonna have to screenshot this display and zoom straight in and let me know what this Axe suit is all about. It's coming soon. Follow PUBG Mobile to get more details.
That's right. And now I think that we got a lot of all these promos out of the way. It's time to predict who's going to be up next here to get that chicken dinner. And I'm just throwing a stone out in the open field.
Wow.
If it's going to be all these new teams here to basically bounce to the top, I want to see MAB do it.
Well, MAB, gotta be honest, not a bad pick at all. I've seen them, you know, popping off quite a bit here, especially in week number 2. But week number 3, they're losing out a lot on these trades in which they should have, you know, won, right? We've seen them go up against, they've even wiped out the likes of Yoodo Alliance, who I did vote this time around because I think they're pretty much on fire right next to Bosskurr. They're head in head, and even DBD, I would add it in. But we'll see how this one goes because just like you, I'm tossing a stone out in the open and hopefully it hits on something or someone and maybe prove me right.
Hopefully not on someone. I mean, that would give a huge concussion to anybody out there. So when you see Keith, run.
No. I was pointing at you because you wouldn't get a concussion if you found yourself a level 3 helmet at the very least.
Ah, okay. Level 1 still gonna hurt though.
Actually, I think you're good with level 1. It's a stone. How bad could it be?
I mean, if you're talking about a motorcycle helmet and I'm gonna throw one brick at your head, you tell me if that hurts or not.
I said a stone. A brick is a total different ball game. Just a mass of it. So now we will be taking flight across Erangel just about soon enough. 30 seconds of the clock. So this is your time to get yourself comfortable. Grab yourself some snacks from the kitchen. Get a little bit of drink before you get yourself parched and have to blink and miss of some of the actions here and settle in. Turn down the lights. Playing some jazz. We're about to get real romantic on this one.
Romantic journey for chicken dinner? Hey, I'm in. Set the candle lights. Dim it out. And of course, it's time for us to roll out once again. Let's head over to our third game of the day. Back into Erangel.
Into these lanes we go. Second time of the day. Last Erangel match to be played here. It's match 3 out of the 5 that we will be playing. And let's see. It seems like this flight path is coming from, actually top side down below. It's a vertical one. And GEEK Fam and the rest of the other teams have got, well, great entry into the drop zones.
Well, I'm still waiting for that Sonoska Island circle though. This might just be it. And Genexus is not nowhere around for this match. If it's going to be on the south side, maybe they're grateful that they're not going to be the ones who are playing. SMG now will move into the north side of Georgia Pole. Eventually might challenge GEEK Fam. So let's wait and see how this one plays out. As them 9 back into Severny. Be an easy drop for the team HYVE as well as the rest of their squad. aims to move in towards the Stalbert area or maybe switch it a little bit into Kameshki as well. However, for some of these teams, they're already moving into the south side. We see GEEK, Dingoz, and Team Secret.
Oh, that's M9. They have guests, they have company, and that is from HYVE International themselves. They copped the spot over at Severny, knowing that MUGEN will not be playing this map, but here comes HYVE to actually take over the Queen Bee themselves, looking to invade, and now 2 on top, 2 more playing in the bottom, but it seems like all the good weapon goes this side of HYVE. Putra's holding nothing but a pistol, and that does not seem like a convincing fight to take unless the backup does come on time. Right now, they do have vehicles, and they're finding their way within this compound, guarding from the outside here.
Everton could swing in with the PP Bison as well. Meanwhile, Arm does have an M16, so there is a fighting chance for SM9. Putra just could use a little bit more bullets out there on the chamber. Gotta aim for the head because these guys may not even find themselves a helmet just yet. Mamparng joining in too. Oh boy. How's this gonna go? Mamparng does have a weapon, as he's about to show you why he's in this match as Adips gets subbed out.
Oh, he's going in real sneaky. If he catches one through the window, that could be a great entry for the likes of Sam9. They only need to take one member down because, oh, Lord of Harm, he's got a weapon to fight around with, but Blanks, I think he pretty much spots that one out. The info has been given. HYVE out of 10 immediately with the smokes, but the rotation is here. They're crashing into compound, and now they overstayed their welcome. The bees of together, the Hornets have now turned into, well, bumblebees themselves. Not lethal. The HYVE shall crumble from the south side, though. Blanks coming in, spraying out.
Out of a blink of an eye, we only lose 2 members of HYVE International. They took a little bit too long, and hence why the rest of Sem9 has been able to send the full team back. Haram, though he was knocked, he will be eventually picked up, and that will be pretty much a clear-cut fight when in the favor of Sem9. How to turn tides around, they do get a little bit more of a lesson. Meanwhile, Fofro just planking by a rock. I don't think that he has much to work out with.
Yeah, I think he was a bit guilty in that one. He knew that he had to come in with the rotation, but they were only on foot, and so he was just guarding from the outside in case someone jumps off the rooftop and tries to go in through the entrance, but that, alas, did not happen. And so he was sitting idly by, felt the betrayal of his brethren here. And so he's guilty. He's not moving. He's a bit on the depression side, yeah.
Well, sometimes the best way is to live on to tell the tale, right? Like than to also put everything in the basket and risk having all the eggs cracking all together. So it's a rough start here for the Philippines representatives, but then again, we see them power through before. Funky now comes in. Mango goes out. Mango definitely has an interesting debut here in the season of the PMPL. So Farang, definitely a very young squad coming out of Farang Guerilla. We see even Malik's coming in. So 2 subs in the squad. Interesting enough.
I mean, a lot of switcheroos have been happening here. I believe in Farang, no? The Guerrilla squads. Obviously, the names on top, you know they're good ones. But Olaya not playing. He was one of the staple members. Seems like he might have to take a break. But talking about team that are popping off big time here. Crit VIP coming in with a 10-pointer kill and a top 4 position earlier on. I do not recall, but Razor comes out, I think for the first time since forever. #1 in the most damage dealt.
Yeah, the MVP of that previous matchup here inside of Arangol as well. The Crit VIP definitely feeling really strong about this momentum. Just needing the final touches for their chicken dinner. Meanwhile, Appy having 4 rivals here. He's been having 61 frags inside of this map. And take a look at that. He's also always providing assistance with 11 rescues and 32 assists.
Well, is that a lot?
It's a lot.
assists. I thought he was the man who's on fire. Oh wait, hold that thought though, because Team Secret now getting gunned down. You talked about MAB being the upset makers here. Well, trying to seal the fate for Team Secret. Still, all 4 members alive, and I think iShots just counted his eggs and said, hey, we're running away with 1. They're going to be able to repopulate with 1 chicken, but now even the last eggs have been cracked here. Team Secret out in 16, and they just had a good game coming off the previous round.
That's right, and how easily that has turned out for them to be having their hopes all crushed. High grenade elimination points coming in from Team Secret's very own kid with 10. But it doesn't seem like in the early game they've been able to expend even a single grenade.
Such a waste off of a good potential, but it's okay. It's all part and parcel of the game. They had no control over it. Surely they did. Technically speaking, you can take fights on your own control and your own accord. But, well, it is what it is. It happened. Let's move on. And now, Sem9, Manparang just showing off some tricks here. And it's just proving people wrong when they said, you can't teach old dogs new trick. Here he is.
If it's going to be the trike, are you going to be certain that that's actually a trick? Because most bikes run on 2 wheels. So
I've never tried it. Nobody has, and that makes it a trick.
Honestly, I really want to own a motorcycle, and my mom told me, no, it's too dangerous.
Oh, yeah. I agree. Though.
So, yeah. Manparang, daredevil overall, because we've seen a lot of teams actually trip over rocks while riding on that trike.
Yeah.
So, I'm pro now on the lower end.
Finding himself in a very difficult situation is HomeBois.
It's just in the military base. So is this a circle inside of the area though? Because
no, but I think HomeBois is crashing. Maybe they didn't get the drops what they want to. I think it's accessible though, but HomeBois is changing things up here, and Iron Pro gets knocked down. They're in NC's territory, and NC has been playing this map for the longest of time. So it's going to be a home ground battle for them.
Yeah. They're definitely feeling good about these pickups here. HomeBois is definitely on uncharted grounds. We'll have Magics coming closer and closer. It's going to be a little bit more of a bring Prime overall to the top of the hits of HomeBois. Start off with a Molotov. Doesn't really force them to make too much of a move. Meanwhile, Trix is about to join into the party. And another smoke to cover off their ground here. Love utilities being expended in the early game. And yes, it is a military iron circle. Military base circle, I would say. And you can already see that more than 50% of that circle is already covering into the waters. So that also means that eventually will close back into the ground. And maybe in the perfect position. And I'm glad I make this call.
Yeah, looking very possible right now. But take a look at the loot box, though. It's teasing them. It's as if someone's going to make the effort to go over, but that might just be the truth here because Dingoz
might really have a boat.
They're driving their way through. So that's pretty cool.
Okay. A little bit more firepower coming out there. Yulhai. Enough trolling around for the past 2 rounds there. First one with a little bit more of an interesting interaction against some of the other players out there. Yoodo Alliance hoping to aim Yulhai down. Addict Luke was supposed to be that prodigy that follows in the footsteps of Yulhai. One point in time, Addict Luke used to be the hottest player out there that we assume that he will be in the transfer markets. And of course, still carries on with some really huge firepower to unload at the enemies. And Voki chooses to take a pit stop. That's just going to be a few attacks out there. Quickly goes in for the prone. Instead, actually dropped to his knees. Dangerous situation also for the likes of Putra. So Voki chooses the wrong spot here to hide out.
I mean, he couldn't have possibly knew, so I'll give him that benefit of the doubt. But Sem9 still in the blue, and I guess that's... They're tanking quite a heap amount of damage. This is going to run the numbers up the stats. And yeah, it's looking like Sam9 just coming around from the outside. How viable is that going to be later on? Because now, if you have to cross the bridge to make it onto the Sosnovka's island, then you're getting into a chokehold. And as we all know, first mover has got an advantage. Bosskurr already guarding the entrance and the exits. SMG as well. Bosskurr right now makes the move.
Yeah, Sam9 still finding it really hard to actually make their way cut across. So they will try to restock on some of these mats. We're looking at Harm, who's only got one first aid kit. So it definitely seems to be a little bit difficult for them for the temporary measure. They're trying to distribute the loots for now. So a little bit longer of a pit stop for them.
Yeah, but some of these teams will have to make the move soon enough. Right now, SMG don't want to take too much risk in trying to get across, seeing as though that might just punish them in the process. Not the safest of thing, but I guess right now they're pushed to desperation. We'll have to make the rotation over, and it's Sam9 who now has to push through the likes of SMG if SMG successfully makes their way across the islands.
But VIP, though, in a really good spot. They could still fish out some of all these other players out there. So far, VIP have definitely got the rotations down. It's a matter of time before they celebrate another win. And for a little bit more of a crossover here, SMG will have Bosskurr trying to stop them on their tracks. But phase 2 is starting to hurt so many people out there. GEEK fam smacked in the middle of it all. Somehow makes their way into the circle. But then again, look at how crowded it will get. This is just phase 2, guys. Phase 3 pushes everybody up there. I don't even want to find out where it ends up by phase 7.
Yeah, that's just some sketchy circle. I'm not gonna lie, that's 50% water, 50% land. It's most likely gonna close onto land, but there's not much already available to play around with, and that means we're expecting one heck of a bloodbath, especially those who's only now joining onto the Sosnovka Island after burning into the blue. Look at the Geeks. They're not athletes, but here they are, taking a swim.
Oh boy. Hope they have the iron lungs going for them though, because it's going to last for quite a while. Razor now goes for the trade, takes out Stone. Bart goes down as well. It's not looking all too good for HomeBois yet again. As Team Hawk claims those lives, Dams doesn't seem like he will be rescued just yet. And more things being tossed out in the open here. And this is just a rowdy ride for everybody out there. HomeBois at least retreat. Get a little bit of reprieve for a reset, but I see a little bit more smoke being tossed in. So that's going to be a quick reset, but here comes GEEK fam. They've already climbed upwards, taking down members of Dingoz. Another 2 on the block. Snipes trying to climb up, but he slides back down. But Micah says, it's okay, I got you, fam.
My God, GEEK fam, they found their way up on the hill. Wonder how that one happened. They scaled the walls, although not having iron lungs, they did cross the Great Walls of China, it seems, the defenses by the pier, and they're taking out Dingoz one after another. It's Kiddo has to deploy some smokes, but he's not in a healthy position to live, only has bandages, 30 of them, but now gets spot out immediately, just go in cleaning this GEEK fam. They're just on running errands at this point.
Yeah, and there's not much they can run from, but Real, he does get a little bit more of a refract going on. Damrude still very far away. He could just pick up this point, though. Dingoz will still survive for now. Attic Luke comes in to pin down one player off. Snipes getting shot. And suddenly, GEEK fam, they're stuck in a really sticky situation as they will try to crawl right through. Hopefully nobody falls alive. Cutting through the back, Yoodo Alliance hoping to strike them off.
Yeah, talking about crawling on walls, that's a potential Spider-Man reference you just missed out there.
Yeah, but then again, is that really a wall? Or is it a cliff?
I wouldn't know, but hey, you're defying gravity, that speaks for something. But talking about defying the norms here, Yoodo is doing exactly that. People want to charge you for data to play games. Guess what? They're letting you do it for free. And all you have to do is scan that QR code right there. And let's take a look at the circle, thankfully. More land than it is sea now, and so I think HYVE International might have booked the wrong ticket.
But speaking of the kings of the seas, it's Tabah NSEA.
Oh, this is their turf.
They've already got the hang out of the military base, and they are in that perfect position, smack in the middle like an egg yolk on a sunny side up. And hopefully that spot's going to be the final circle for them. Bebeng, outside of the play zone, gets knocked down. And I see a couple more teams here struggling. Team Hawk, however, now seeking players out of Dingoz. Dingoz only having one member left. This ain't the fight to take, but he will just fight back. Even Damroot wants to come in. And Team Hawk, they mess with the wrong boys out here. Here comes Yuhai, and he doesn't even need that nade because SMG, they also chimed in to help out. And some third-party action going on. MAB was the one that lands the final shot onto Dams. And Team Hawk looked like they could stand a fighting chance early on, but MAB now will have the rest of SMG holding them back from crawling right through. Though MAB is already inside the circle. Calamity, he has the vehicles to try to bring his teammates inwards.
He will try, and he will try and make the rotation so successfully, but they have to be careful, though, with the likes of GEEK fam still alive. That could be quite of a nail prick to try and drive by, as it could just cause his entire member to shred down without even putting up a fight. And Bosskurr, nearly could have gone sour that zigzag. Just jumping off vehicles, as if he hasn't learned that this patch, a lot of people just fell and face planted first. And so they have to address that. Meanwhile, Bosskurr gets the kill. That's the final member of VIP, I believe. Yeah,
they definitely had their struggles moving into the island. And that struggle will end right here. So does their run here on the third matchup. Meanwhile, Yoodo Alliance still healthy and alive. Every single member out there still surviving. Meanwhile, Adiglu tries to heal up. GEEK fam, they're just like cockroaches. No matter how many times you strike them, they will crawl somewhere and they will still continue to live. You're trying to tap their heads, they can still basically last a week longer. I don't even know what could have possibly stopped GEEK fam.
I don't know. At this point, they just came in. They have the, I guess, somewhat of a best position to be in. They have covers with the walls, while the rest of the other teams might have to play open field sooner than later once the circle does close in. And I just going back to the question, I don't know what can stop them if they're playing, if this circle doesn't close away. Because look at how they have so much terrain to play from. It's not even possible to try and snipe them out. They have cover, they just move back a little bit, and well, I guess that's negated now. GEEK fam pressured to make the move, to push into circle, and SMG Yoodo Alliance straight right in front of them, MAB as well.
And I guess there's not going to be much advantage given over to them being wrapped around with so many of these teams. Yoodo Alliance, SMG, MAB, and even Bosskurr. This completely shuts them off. Drax has his vehicle being exploded, and that might just be him out of the game already. But he's still crawling on his foot. That's good news for SMG. They can still go in for a little revival. And look at that, Bosskurr still within the play, but then again, we'll have the rest of GEEK fam now moving forward towards the side of SMG. Damage is being done, but Snipes out in the open ground will be taken out quickly. And Yuhai still pummeling damage into the shack. Here comes a big nade, and let's see whether it will cook them all up. Yes, it will! The whole team vanishes. It's Yuhai making magic work.
SMG yet again inside a little shed, getting taken out. I feel that if we go trail things back to week number 2, we can make a compilation of how many times they just fall flat, going into small, tight, cramped places. Just not the best place to take on fights, but hey, I guess it's either you win or you learn, and right now they're learning one step at a time. Bosskurr now has to go up against Sem9, who has got number advantage, and players moving on the flank side here. Putra already firing some bullets down their way, but Bosskurr, they have backup as well.
Yeah, like the way that they've been playing on Shacks definitely made a little bit more of a traumatic experience. Bosskurr, though, they're trying to take a Shack of their own, but they're being smart with it. They were standing on top of it for a little bit of a quick duration. Meanwhile, we see even more of these names starting to drop like flies. There's going to be one member down from the side of Sem9. Bosskurr having Imon there, going with that one frag. Now pushes inwards. Bosskurr. This is going to be a little bit of a hot streak for them. And same goes to GEEK Fam, already securing 10, but everybody's on foot. Man, these are like Navy SEALs. Took a swim, now running onto the open grounds, and they find themselves a restock of the crate. And Yoodo Alliance, they're in the water. What are they doing there?
Yeah, they're playing by the sea against Tabah NSEA, so obviously Poseidon's not really happy about that. But no, GEEK Fam, although they have quite the incredible run though, remember it's Bosskurr who has the lead, and every single kill they get is just negating the lead of GEEK Fam, trying to gap close onto them. And right now, GEEK Fam don't look too hot, and Bosskurr spraying them down. That's gonna immediately eliminate some of the lead that their GEEK Fam is trying to bring in closer to maybe take over the likes of Bosskurr. No, that's not happening, they said.
They already got 10 elimination points overall, and yet again, it has been a little bit difficult, but Micah has already made his cut across. He's still trying to survive. The final stand will not last for GEEK Fam. A respectable top 5 finish with 11 frags at the very least to close that round off. Meanwhile, Bosskurr having that legs being exposed towards Rush. Rex still alive. Honestly, RSG could also do it here. He forgot 3 frags. A little more quiet compared to the rest of the squad that has been having the names across the board. Is Rex also getting tagged? He's only down to 15 bandages.
Yeah, so GEEK Fam 11 kills, Bosskurr also 11 kills, so that means GEEK Fam made 0 progress trying to gap close onto the likes of Team Bosskurr, and Team Bosskurr might even run away with more position points, and if even more kill goes their way, then it's just minor leads going to the side of Team Bosskurr even more here. And so they were going to try and maintain this. It's paramount. It's paramount that Bosskurr maintains their position and maybe even come out with another chicken, because then that's going to put them in a good foot coming in day number 3.
And that's great sprays coming from Kim. Now here comes a refract though coming out of Lot Harm. Nades are being tossed into his direction. Kim already got Mumparn through the smokes, but he's still surviving though. He's trying to create a little bit more distance between those Nate Rangers that's flying right in, but both of them gets blasted off. And all thanks to Ranger as well as Kim for these efforts.
Down to the top 3 position, Team Bosskurr, NC, and RSG, all members still alive and playing this map. It's a triple threat Mexican standoff here, but RSG Rex gets the first entry, takes 1 member of Team Bosskurr. They were on the high ground, so they're under the gun sight of a lot of members from RSG right now. Looking like the most potential threat. I don't think RSG knows of the players of Tabah NSEA right across the field, so they will have their eyes set upon the King of the Hills.
Another nade being tossed right in. This might be the demise of the rest of Bosskurr if it does connect, and it does land onto a knock. And that's another one coming from Rush there. That leaves only 1 member behind, and that will be it. NC, the Kings of Sanaska, will crush Team Bosskurr, stopping their streak. And now it's between NC versus RSG.
This is going to look tough here, but RSG, they're already positioned themselves by the edge of the circle. Same goes with Tabah NSEA, but it is RSG who occupies the high grounds first. Already sprayed down and taking 2 members off Tabah NSEA, but it's a 2v3 still very much possible. Frankie, he just needs to get some sort of an info. Spraying in the dark is RSG, not hitting the mark here. More Molotov cocktail, tossed on forward. They do see the body right behind smokes. And, well, with that peek, that should give him a little bit of an advantage with the information. But he wins that one real hard. He gets it, though. Recovered just in time, but now Kim suppressing towards the back end. It's Magix who now have to go in with the heals. Only has bandage. He saw Kim. Surely, with his whatever HP left, can he go in with the peek? He is relatively low, and he's the only member from Tabah NSEA.
And Ranger managing to secure that 1 corner in. Still no time for him to go in for the res. But they do actually get this one set off. Now here comes another nade being primed off, but then again, Ranger with a take of health left. RSG Kim being pushed by the blue zone. Now 2 versus 1.
My God.
1 versus 1. Let's see whether Ranger has the time. 4 seconds. No.
He's not going to make it.
Here, and it will be Tabah NSEA with the chicken dinner. Oh, a little bit of missed opportunity for RSG because that looked so well. It could have been closed out, but they lost too much health. And being blinded by the smoke, it buys time for Tabah to reset.
It looks so good for the likes of RSG. They have everything they wanted up against their favor. They have the high ground. They have pushed the likes of Bosskurr. They have most of the members up. But what they lacked was the composure towards the last few shortages, right? Because it turned into a 2v2 situation. But man, did Tabah NSEA play that one so perfectly. RSG, I think, getting a little bit sloppy. They pushed through the smoke blindly, got punished, more members fall, and it turned out into a very tough situation for them. But still, kudos to both of these teams. Actually, all three of the teams, including GEEK Fam, that makes it 4 because they've all got high fragging numbers under their belt.
Yeah, and I'm definitely satisfied with this Nafka run out there, and Tabah NSEA proved to be the kings of the island, but it all started off on that final fight, which I want to emphasize, because it was Brian pushing alone. If it was going to be accompanied by Razor altogether, then it would have basically yielded better results, if you ask me. And many of these teams over on the south side were just basically taking fights after fights. Team Hawk, we thought that they stand a chance to take down GEEK Fam, but Snake's reigning in HYVE managed to deter them from playing this game overall. And GEEK Fam still gets themselves 11 points before they crash out.
Yeah, but look at Bosskurr, absolutely a monster today. They have gotten one of the best runs, I think, in week number 3. They are the ones with the best runs, hence they are in the #1 spot. But they're getting away with loads of these pointers, loads of murder, just shooting across the map. And you can see, even with the highlights itself, they didn't have the easiest of situations. They're all playing on the open ground. Admittedly, they do got the high ground, but still, they've got nothing but trees to play around with, and they held that long, had to go up against the pressure of both Tabah NSEA and RSG. Unfortunately, that was too much to handle, and Bosskurr will have to bow out at the 3rd place, but still, very respectable run.
Yeah, all these teams really showing exemplary work when we come down to the island finish, and it definitely wasn't an easy task. RSG making the top 2 is still something to celebrate about because they have a lot of tough runs throughout this week itself. Yesterday, we see them struggle a tad bit. NSEA, though, this is their time to shine as they gotten themselves 25 points by the end of the round.
Insane numbers getting pulled away of Tabah NSEA. It's just impressive stuff. I mean, this is one of the statements to be made, right? Tabah NSEA, that Sosnovka military base is their home to play, and you just went up against them in home ground, and they are gonna not give you the chance of day to run along with it. And so RSG and Bosskurr, GEEK Fam even paid the price so heavily. They all went down, and well, kudos to some of these teams as well. Sem9 with 12 points still, despite having quite of a rough start in this game. They spawned all the way in Severny. That's the opposite of where the circle relies, and they've had to go through pretty much hell to secure that 12 points. But here's our MVP.
That's right. It's going to be our boy RXZ. Well, I'm not too sure if that's a motorcycle model or what, but man, he's basically catching up to speed against everybody else here with 754 damage being done. 3 elimination points, though. I do believe that there's also a few other players that have matched the number of kills, but Bosskurr now solidified themselves at #1, the first team to break the triple-digit mark.
Yeah, and it is only day 2 here of the 3rd match, so Team Bosskurr with 7 matches, breaking the triple digit. They're looking like the GEEK Fam in week number 2, and it is now GEEK Fam who has to play catch-up. Still 20 points, about 20 points difference here between the two, so still doable within a single round. But NSEA now stepping up, 3rd place, 4 rivals, and Axis and Crit VIP makes way, dropping down 1 position.
Yeah, and RSG also managed to make their way into the top 10, now ties with DBD. So the chances here are looking so good. So this is definitely going to be interesting to see how this one's going to go, because there's a lot of catching up to do. Anyone from the 2nd page here also do stand a chance to move up into the top 10 itself. So all hopes are not lost just about yet, as we are going to be looking at what things are going to be like for maps of Miramar, I would say.
Yeah, excited for the first Miramar of the evening. We know Miramar is a bit long drawn, and to be honest, for the first 12 minutes can be pretty stale. But hey, towards the last few circles, Miramar becomes like the most fun map to play around with, because all you have is open fields and contours to play around with, not really cover. So you're not going to see much of a passive, team fight. In fact, they're always looking for flank side to get one up the other.
That's true, and we are already seeing Team Bosskurr really running every single map like they're playing the last games of their lives.
Yeah.
And that's what we really want to see out of all these 20 teams that are on board. So who's going to be there to really stop them, guys? Like GEEK Fam, they tried, but they weren't even close to Bosskurr in those sort of a territory, and they were running out of open grounds. They were fighting at one point,
yeah,
but GEEK Fam too far off on that blue zone. Really didn't have standard chance.
I mean, Bosskurr was gatekeeping from the hill, so it was a bit hard. They were just getting sprayed down. GEEK Fam, they had 4 members. They were all hiding behind a singular tree. Obviously, it's going to have some tail. And they got picked off one by one. So it was a tough hill to climb or to conquer here. But regardless, Bosskurr now on the streak, which begs me the question, why now? What happened to the past 2 games? Why only down in week 3 are they starting to kick up the way they did?
I think that it's also desperation of securing the maximum points, because they were somewhere in between of the pack, and if you do secure at least a minimum of 15 points by this weekend, it should be able to at least qualify them to the grand finals already. So if you hold on to number 1, I'm pretty sure that's more than good enough.
Well, 15 points is actually harder than most people would think, right? Because 15 point is top 5 position over in the bonus, right? The bonus points mode. So it's not an easy thing to do, but everyone's trying to make sure that they fall within the top 16 and hopefully get their fingers crossed and pray to God that they make it onto the country finals, because then they have another shot over at the SEA Championship. Remember, only the top 4 makes it through to the SEA Championship. Meanwhile, for the remaining of the top 7 will have to go through the SEA play-ins once again.
I find it really interesting that we call it the country finals, because we have 3 countries here, so it's countries final.
So national finals, does that ring up any better though?
Yeah. Not at all.
Not at all. It sounds like a government thing, right?
Oh, yeah. It's a little bit tacky, if you ask me. It feels like we're already playing the regional finals of our own.
True.
You know, like we have one representative from Singapore as well as PH. But, of course, speaking of which, we're going to be having an interview with Tabah NSEA. So let's hear it from the guys and see what they've got. And please welcome on board Tabah NSEA's very own manager. It's great to have you here, and congratulations to your team. You guys got the chicken dinner here inside of Aranga. And how's everyone feeling right now?
Everyone was feeling great, because we've been wanting chicken so bad. So I think this is a great start for us.
Awesome.
I've got a question. So, Tabah NSEA, Sosnovka military base, that was your home ground. What was the mood in the room, what was the mood in the room during that first circle when it closed down with South?
When the first circle closed down, they feel really, really pressured, because I don't know how, but they are the one who handling the device. So I think they handle it so well.
Yeah, they did. And of course, you guys been waiting for this chicken dinner to happen. And a lot of these teams also notice, like, you guys have a great history of track record where even without the chicken dinners, there's consistency level with high elimination, high ranking points to book those rounds. You guys even qualified for SEA games before. So now I want to hear from you as well, like your target for the entire squad, like how far are you guys looking at? Are you guys also chasing in the MGC points and also the hopefuls of C Grand Finals? So what's your target for now?
For us, for Tabah NSEA, we are targeting the PMGC, but for now we are not focusing more on the PMGC, but we are focused on the PMPLC. So I think that should be our target first.
That's great, because like there's so many things to consider about, and we take it one step at a time. So yeah, Keith, any more questions?
Yeah, I've got one. So it's looking almost certain right now that Tabah NSEA is going to go into the country final, especially with this. I mean, they've been pretty much consistent. I'd say they'll make it into the top 16 for sure, right? Is there a team who Tabah NSEA see as a threat in the PMPL MYSGPH?
For us, I think it will be 4 to 5 teams, but the obvious one is I think ForRival and GEEK, because they are really, really strong.
Of course, respect given where it's due overall, but Tabah NSEA, you guys are looking for novel as well, so I hope that by those weeks when we get ourselves nearer to the grand finals, you will be in that prime form to take everyone else out of the competition and take that trophy home. So Tabah NSEA, is there any words to the fans out there that you want to relay to that's been supporting you guys since the start of the season?
Just wanting to say thank you for all supporters, and just keep on supporting us till the end. And that's it.
All right, thank you so much. And of course, there's still more games to play out, so we don't want to hold you for too long. So thank you for the interview.
Bye-bye. Very humble, down to earth. I honestly, this is the first time I'm seeing the manager. I was so afraid because I thought it's going to be someone so stern, because I mean they are national athletes after all. Comes out, the manager was just like as cool as a beans.
Yeah, and you can still hear like the answers are really firm, and like that's what it takes to be a manager. Like you gotta be firm to the boys as well, understand the expectations, and there wasn't say one team that they were just
4 to 5.
keeping an eye out on. 4 to 5.
Obviously,
that list is long.
They gave us the most obvious, which was GEEK Fam, but 4 rivals coming in second. Who would have thought? Who would have thought?
Hey, to be fair, you look at the charts out there, like 4 rivals have been rising up.
For us, because we know 4 rivals since even the previous season, and we know them to be strong, right?
Yeah.
But for people who's just like tuning in, I don't think that week 1 was any good, and then comes in week number 2, they were subpar. Maybe top 5, but nothing too scary.
You have very high expectations.
Because we've seen how crazy they are. I've seen how crazy they are in the first season of this year. So I know what they're really made of. And trust me, what you're seeing right now is barely the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah, and of course, everyone is basically chasing into their prime form, and Tabah NSEA conquered that match in an outstanding number. So this puts them into a really comfortable position, at least for now, right? Like the weekdays still is far from over, and we still have so many more matches leading up to the weekend to see who gets to play the extra map of Livik for those points. So with that being said, I guess that we do have a little bit more time for us before we go in for the next game. So what did we talk about here?
Well, we can talk about the previous match. That's always a default we can get into. Let's see, what do we have here? How does that chicken dinner come to fruition? Obviously, from that first circle itself, I wanted to know what the mood was happening in there. Obviously, if I was a Tabah NSEA member, I'd be real happy. I don't have to leave the islands for too soon. And comes the second circle, and you realize, hey, it's majority playing over in Sosnovka itself. This is our turf, this is our home ground. We are first movers. We have every advantage in the world to reposition themselves. However, the circle did, well, trick a bunch of the players, especially when it goes into this 50% land, 50% water split. You can tell that the rest of GEEKs and the rest of the other teams are banking their way towards the ledge, or at least by the hills, or whatever you call it, the cliff, of Sosnovkas themselves.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that was a scam. Gets pulled out. HYVE, obviously the ultimate victim here, thinking that it might just close onto waters, but it did not, and so pulled back in onto land, and immediately they had to position themselves right in the center.
If you notice, the top two teams were actually teams with compounds to work with, and everybody else was running out in the open, and that gives them a little bit more leverage that they could defend themselves from attacks that's being launched against them. Meanwhile, you see, SMG was stuck in the middle of everybody else, and that's where Yohai took the chance, cracked that grenade into the shack, and gone is SMG. So
blink of
it's
an
the
eye.
second time, third time, I lost count.
SMG, they just find themselves in shack, but I think they should take a book from your play here. As you said, don't put too much eggs in one basket. Like how Bosskurr, when they take sheds, they maybe send one member using the sheds, because let's be honest, shed has some value. It is cover after all. And maybe deploy one member there, the rest of them play around some other tree lines or some natural covers. Just don't ever cluster up the small room that is the shed.
Yeah, and overall, we see Tabah NSEA have such a nice lineup over on top of those hills where they were taking down members of Bosskurr. Meanwhile, RG attempting a little bit of a wide flank. We saw Kim on the far end, and then later on they have to move up those hills down to a 2 versus 2 that was very, very close to the comforts of Tabah NSEA. So it's a little bit of a rough run, but Tabah NSEA, they have weathered the storm by the seas, and they will definitely claim this chicken dinner by the end of it all. So we're going to be moving over to new maps now. So Miramar is where we're going to be at. But before that, we have to thank our dear partners that have been here along with our ride.
Yep, it's called the Realme GT Neo 3 Neo Speed Awakens. And if you get the Neo reference, then you're probably at our age and has stayed alive to watch The Matrix. But you have to catch this phone out, because just like The Matrix, this one is unbelievable. Coming in with dual chipset, one dedicated for display. It's called the MediaTek Dimensity 8100 5G, and well, it promises you a lot of things that is out of this world, such as power efficiency on top of good graphics, on top of a seamless and immersive experience.
That's right, and of course, you can get free data to play PUBG Mobile the whole day, or even the whole month, the whole year, without being charged, and that's also thanks to Yoodo, our official digital telco partners.
Yeah, and also if you have the time in a day, which I believe you do, nobody really sleeps too soon here. And now in 2022, we spend our times going through social media, and well, PUBG Mobile has got a TikTok for you to follow on. So if you're over tonight, after the whole match is wrapped up and you're in your comforts just scrolling through, just remember PUBG Mobile. It's PUBG Mobile official MY for Malaysian, PUBG Mobile Esports.SG for the Singapore side, PUBG Mobile official PH for the Filipino side out there. And we know Filipinos and the trends of TikTok, it's always viral, just like the Optimus Prime.
Can you do that again?
No, I'd rather not. I felt stupid right after.
Anyways, we'll give him a little bit of a break here. So it's just a few minutes. We'll see you guys shortly.
Dia lembik gila. Tak nak aku. Hai, saya Adik.
Saya Ham. Wih. Asal rambut Kim ada kat sini? Demu benda ni.
Tak, yang pertama tu asal gerak.
Janganlah. Oh, so okey, kau dulu. Wih, panas. Wih.
Bodoh. Apa tu? Lembik bodoh.
Ya. Kuat. Okey, kuat dulu.
Ya, kau.
Benda weh. Atas tu.
Dah tahu lah. Tak ada.
Oi, apa benda ni? Apa tu? Lembik lah. Okey. Okey. Geli sikit ni. Nak try yang ni lah. Digigit dok ni tadi. Yang ni lah. Ni gilat dok.
Ni baru kari tadi.
Aku warna kot.
Warna naga. Hamster.
Sabun.
I think kura-kura.
Nanas. Kaki ayam ah, tangan ayam ah.
Oh, nenas.
Kaki ayam.
Sini boleh. Nenas bongok. Okey, dah habis sesi permainan kita untuk hari ini. So, jangan lupa saksikan kami di
2022 PMPL
MYSGPH Fall.
Hi everyone, this is Blackpink.
We're so excited to be back in PUBG Mobile with tons of great surprises for all of you.
By the way, first ever Blackpink in-game concert will be held exclusively in PUBG Mobile starting on 22nd July. Don't forget to support us through the in-game events to unlock the exclusive Blackpink rewards and more.
Follow PUBG Mobile social for more information. 네, 너무 기쁘네요.
Come and meet us in the game. See you soon!
See you there, please!
Neo Speed awakens. Ryumi, dare to leap.
We're back and ready to rock and roll here in 2022 PMPL MYSGPH Fall. It's Contra and Keith, your casters for the entire weekdays. And on the weekends, we'll finally have Choo-Choo as well as Sir Cloud coming back online here to join you guys.
Oh, thank God. We get some break. we get to be the viewers for once. Oh.
That's right. And of course, the show's not over yet, Keith. Oh, time to celebrate. So we definitely do have 2 more matches to go, and that's going to be inside of Miramar. And we will see who else will catch up to Bosskurr, because they are on the stormy ride into the top end of the podium. And yet again, they have been able to keep consistency here throughout the rest of the run. And Boy still remains as the person to deal the most damage 2 maps in a row now.
Yeah, I mean, it is Team Bosskurr. It has to be them because this is so far being their hype train to tell their own story, right? They've gotten 2 chicken dinners yesterday. Right now, I think, is this the second one today? No. First? Second?
Feels like a second.
Feels like a second.
It is the second.
Right? So Bosskurr is just like, I mean, they didn't get a second chicken dinner, but they went into top 3. It felt like they did. Yeah, just like when GEEK fam just performed absolutely phenomenal. We thought they got them the chicken dinner, but we digress. They played well, and Bosskurr right now increasing the lead. They have to still keep at it though, because GEEK fam only 20 points away, still remaining from previously, but it's not too comfortable, especially with more games left to be played today, tomorrow, and over the weekends.
That's right, and now Group A takes a break, so we won't have HomeBois, Team Bosskurr, nor Team Hawk, as well as Team Secret not playing inside this matchup. So one of the top few teams of Miramar is going to be shelved out. That also means that we have 4 rivals here back on track alongside with 7-9 to play this one out against GEEK fam as well as Genexus. So now on this list here, let's take a look at what these numbers are. 22k being done by 7-9. The one that could match up those numbers are currently 4 rivals with 20k.
And 4 rivals is the one team I said, if we have 2 Miramar maps in a day, one of it is going to belong to 4 rivals. And yesterday they've proven it. 4 rivals did get the chicken dinner on one of the Miramar maps, and right now looking to climb their way back into at least, you know, number 1, maybe take it over from the likes of 7-9 with just sheer consistency though. That is the requirement. They have to be consistent because a couple of good games here and there won't make a difference.
Indeed, it will be, and we see 1 chicken dinner for even somewhere in the middle pack or even bottom will give them a lifeline to play. And of course, while you're playing a lot of PUBG Mobile, you could definitely invest yourself on this Bramble Overlord set that definitely looks banking cool.
Banking cool, well, quite literally. Take a look at the right-hand side. Someone's just being bonded up, reaching towards somewhat of a route here. And yeah, you can see, just tell by the visuals itself, it looks pretty darn romantic if I might say so myself. So go get yourself a Bramble Overlord set and flex it out among community of similar mindsets over at the PMPL and PMCT on-ground watch party, with the next one happening over the weekend at Ipoh Parade Barrack. So if you're over the area, just drop by and, you know, spend some time with your own peeps. And if you are willing to take a flight across into Borneo, I know a lot of people from the West has not been there. There's not much to look at besides sandy white beaches, but hey,
that
there's
sounds
PUBG
great.
Mobile now. There's PUBG Mobile, which you can look forward to.
That's right, Tabah. And now, if you want to pay a visit to the Desert Dunes inside of Miramar, I think the Mummy set definitely fits perfectly. But you can basically play this limited time game mode, and on top of that, limited time favorites on sale, where you could just basically grab this set and start chasing people and turn them to mummies too.
Turn them into mummies.
Yeah.
What if it was a man who gets wrapped up with that papyrus cloth? Does that not make them daddies? How does this work here?
I don't know. Sounds like a portable diaper to me, if you ask me. Overall, put that aside. I don't want to distract you too much. Prediction time, and lo and behold, still rooting in for Genexus to seal the deal, because they don't look so fine for day 1. Day 2, not so much either.
Pretty rough, and I think Genexus just needs like one good game to maybe turn the tides around. But I will instead, well, risk a prediction onto Miramar, because onto 4 rivals, because it is a map of Miramar, and I think either one of these Miramar is going to be a triumph with the likes of the Green Demons themselves, 4 rivals. But I guess time will tell if I'm proven right or wrong.
That's right, and 4 rivals, I think this is a really safe team to root for, especially inside of Miramar. They've managed to close out games yesterday, and today I believe they will be able to do the same, which we saw today with 4 rivals really kicking up a storm in the early matches out there. So who's to say that they will be denied again at number 2? But man, I'm rooting for Genexus, because I believe that there's still that fire burning inside them, and they're not willing to take more losses from here on.
Yeah, I mean, that's the attitude they kind of have to adapt, right? The sense of urgency needs to be there because I don't think they have the luxury in the world to keep letting games slip out of their hands, because I think after they overtook GEEK Fam with the PMGC points, now GEEK Fam has most definitely overtaken them in day 2 or even maybe in day 1 itself. It was questionable there. And so Genexus, if they're really planning to make their way all the way up, then they have to start sooner than later.
That's true. And with that being said, we're going to have our match on our way as we are going to be preparing ourselves for this flight. Miramar definitely has so much of opportunities to offer out there. I'm saying jobs in these cities because these cities usually look dilapidated. Maybe they could easily be gladiators because there's always an arena inside of El Pozo, in Picado as well. And I believe around the Terra Branca area there is a little bit more of a stadium too. But of course, this is the showdown, which I'm running off course. So take me back on track, Keith.
Well, I mean, if you want to ride off the whole gladiator concept, I would even suggest that maybe a round where everyone just collectively forego their guns, start picking up pans, or start punching each other in close proximity.
That should be a brand new game mode for Livik, you know, like...
Or make it a different game mode where it's just like 1 by 1. You know, you don't... The map size is just 1 cube by 1 cube. Because the Miramar is a bit too big, and now we're going to take a flight across this huge valley that is nothing but sand. Pretty salty one at that, right next to the sea itself.
Nobody asked you to lick it.
You gotta lick to experience, you know?
Okay.
Taste buds is part of the essential experience in life.
It is true.
Like food's a culture.
Certain things are not meant to be tasted, though, Keith. But then again,
cyanide.
I'll respect that. I'll respect what you like to taste. But here we are. We start off from the south side near Puerto Paraíso, heading into Monte Nivo. Direct drop for Genexus. So, Axis, they're going into the far southern end. Los Higos probably will be their drop spot here. MAB also following suit. But MAB, they have a few scattered members hoping to land into the outskirts of Lost Leo. Meanwhile, SMG as well as Dingoz, they like to drop there too. So I'm not too certain if that's going to be any sort of instances where they will lock horns very early. DBD into Chumacero, while Tabah NSEA, who have just won the previous match, will be floating in to secure Valdemar.
Yeah, Tabah NSEA, they're trying to pull off their stunt again, and we've seen how close they've gotten with the similar patterns, but this time round, again, it seems to circle this southwestern side of the map. Chumacero seems to be the place of contention for the time being, and it's GEEK Fam who has to make their way.
And this is going to be an interesting circle. I've been waiting for this one for quite some time as well, because I've said it before that those valleys, those hills in between Chumacero is one of the most dangerous places to play for most squads. And considering for the fact that some teams are going as far as La Cabrera to loot up, it's going to be taking a lot of time. M10K takes out a very rare weapon, the crossbow in hand. The moment he gets subbed in, Nasty will be the one that will be taking a break. And Mugen, you know, really showing some strides here on week number 3. Now at currently 14. A little bit more points. They could even match up to Dingoz. And, you know, with all those sort of aggressiveness that they've tried and tested, it's just convincing me that this is by far the best representative of Singapore that we're seeing for this season.
I mean, the fact that you can wipe out Sam9, that's telling enough. I mean, I'm still stuck on that story. However, Mugen, not just Sam9, a bunch of other names, they have been able to do so. I believe 4 Rivals was one of those who actually fell into the hands of Mugen.
First week, maybe even Genexus as well.
Yeah. So, this team, if I guess it goes down, it's easier said than done, but maybe if they played a bit more confidently in themselves, they could actually do damage. Or at least put up a very, very strong fight here. Same can be said with Crit VIP, who has turned into the more aggressive team in the last week. I mean, this third week so far.
That's right. As we take a look at the damage charts here, Lung has been able to do a whole lot more. And Crit VIP, they just secured those vehicles, and they're about to basically run all around. We see a little bit of a recap of a replay coming in with an early takedown onto Brian. Interesting is they both basically fought by those compounds, perhaps trying to fight for a vehicle, but not getting any in the way. VIP with a head start there. I believe that should be the first blood for Examzi, who once upon a time was the Terminator, all-time highest record of Terminators. Probably still within the top 5, top 10 ratio, if you consider that he's been playing since Season 1, and there's just no stopping this guy. But then again, after a little bit changes to the Crit VIP squad, maybe he takes on a very different role that he's not getting back into his prime form. But prime form Examzi looks exactly like what Yuhai does in some of these matches.
If that was true, then we gotta get that man back, because right now it's looking like a night and day contrast between what he was able to do with the team for the past few seasons. They need an absolute overhaul. That's my call right there. I'm not sure if I'm in any right position to say so, but maybe I feel like the team needs an overhaul. I give them credits where it's due. Their loyalty towards each other. They're banded like thieves. But to a certain, to a certain level, I think you got to change up the dynamics here, since the meta has changed as well drastically.
I do think that the changes here are healthy for Crit VIP overall as compared to, the inconsistency that previously EVOS VIP had. And now at least they're on a more stable note. And with the addition of Chillrex into the roster, it instills some disciplines. And perhaps what they need now is higher confidence, because we saw yesterday when they were taking fights, they looked like they could win everybody else, including GEEK Fam.
Yeah, they could. And that's why I said, like, week number 3, they're coming in as the aggressors, and it's been paying off for them. And they should have done that since week 1. In fact, they should have been doing that since last season.
They did do that last season for a couple of times until...
No, they didn't. It was always them trying to make their way into as close into the circle as possible.
Sorry, 2 seasons ago. 2 seasons ago. Two seasons ago was where, man, they look like their championship material team. But of course, during grand finals is where they slide off from their usual form. That was when Luxy was still playing in the team.
Yeah, I remember.
Where do we see Luxy 98 now? Sadly. Quite an interesting character, and quite the leader he is. Oh, speaking of leads there, it's Lats being shot at the vehicles instead.
Yeah, it blew up right in front of Syed's eyes, so a little bit of a bad blood there. Like, hey, you couldn't even give me one vehicle to get away. I wasn't even pushing onto your compound.
Yeah.
Well, this is Miramar. You don't get freebies, especially when it's this wide open. People are going to make sure that you don't get the first drop on them. But hit now under fire, though, because Calamity Cat's one. That's one member of SMG. And a huge punishment at that.
That's true. MAB at least get a little bit more of a refract, and they will storm right through. And is played with fire, and he is about to get burned by lead.
By lead. I'm sure it stings.
Yeah, just like my foot. Still painful. Take care of your health, guys. Like, I mean...
now he's saying it. Just take his word for it. He's walking on crutches now.
Yeah. So it definitely isn't fun to have gout. Of course, you got to watch your diet from time to time. But these guys, they don't mind if they get the gout by taking too much chicken dinner.
I mean, they get rewarded for it.
Yeah. With dollars.
Yeah.
Lots of dollars.
There's more chicken where that came from.
That can cure you even if you have gout, man. Like, Give me a chunk of that 150K, and I'm going to be happy.
You know, back in the days, I don't know if you knew about this fact, but gout was seen as a status.
A status?
Yep.
Meaning to say that if you have it, you're like...
a wealthy man.
Really?
Yeah, because back in the medieval days, only the wealthy could eat meat. And so the kings all have gout.
Interesting. Very interesting. So, should I be proud of myself?
No.
I don't think
we
so.
don't work with that anymore.
We don't reward ourselves for our own mishap. Okay? So, here goes. The shift of the circle. Where does it bring us to? It could still move into the top. And yes, it will. The Genexus now somewhere towards the middle. Just by the edges of La Riela. Meanwhile, 7-9 is going to be exactly the same. Power grid being cleared up, though. So does that mean that Genexus can take over? Seems like they're driving towards that direction. Meanwhile, Farang moving across Picado. Standing a chance here is the rest of Crit VIP. I believe they should be already inside the circle, so they don't really have to move all too much. So I want to ask you this. Which team do you think has the best gaming house? Is it MAB? Because I remember...
I've seen the tour. But I have to retract a little bit because you know that the gamers there are second priority. The whole house, it's a shared one with the traders, and I think priority goes to the traders themselves.
Traders?
Yeah. Like stock exchange traders. Stock traders.
Oh, so that's what it's being used for?
Yeah, but they're doing it for, you know, currencies that are, yeah, well, I will not mention.
Okay.
Yeah.
I understand. It's okay. I mean, like, we're here for games. We're not here to count what kind of dollars they exchange.
Right. So I would have to retract that because it's a shared thing. So I think second to that, maybe, I think the RSG's house is honestly pretty lit.
Yeah?
Or, yeah, RSG.
I used to live in it.
Do tell your story.
I mean, they shifted a couple of houses now. I don't know if it's just as nice. I mean, only the best for the top dogs out there, right?
Yeah.
So, overall, I think like Geek Fam, they also do have a really huge house. Also shared with the rest of the game title players that also play under the same banner. Other than that, I mean, not every single player gets that luxury of sharing a gaming house overall. Because when we take a look at that, like, it is a little bit costly to run an organization and having all these costs and stuff like that.
Actually, when I think about it, it's not really, though.
It's not too costly, but then again, it's still a cost.
Sure, but everything's a cost. Surviving is a cost. Eating is a cost, right? But is it worth it? I think it is, because if you're venturing into esports and you just have like a lot of money lying around, esports is a good way to go because you're creating a brand. That's for one, which you can leverage off to selling merchandise or whatnot, and maybe create influencers themselves. Or, wait, hold that thought. Speaking of about influencers, Voki looking like he might get shot down.
But he's going to survive for now. Yoodo Alliance now tagging onto Jenny. One more bullet will do the trick. He's going to squeeze it right through. Doesn't seem like he could move out of that one.
And back to my thought.
Yeah.
So if you have a lot of money lying around, getting a gaming house is somewhat of an investment because it is property after all, and that's only going to appreciate. So you're just going to have a property bought on. Just put a couple of talented individuals inside and let them play.
Yeah, play their hearts out, and that's going to be their safe haven.
You pay them a salary, they're building you a brand, which pays back in terms of marketing value. And it is what it is, man.
A little bit of education for those who wonder how the esports life is like. And Boy goes in to secure 1-pointer each. Voki now getting taken down, and it's going to be Damarid coming from afar with DMR. The Mini 14 from top the hills inside of Monte Nevo. Wow. Quite the long shot, I must say. As the circle brings everybody back towards the corners of Picado, there's bound to be a lot of fights that will happen around this area. But with this sort of shift, I think that the biggest factors here are FRG as well as RSG, because there's a lot of room for them to play out. Meanwhile, everybody on the south side are just clumped up. is there's about to be a lot of fights happening just above Chumacera.
I mean, it's about time too. I believe we're in 13 minutes now, so this is where things get a bit more dicey for most of the teams. Genexus actually gatekeeping the likes of Tabah NSEA. The rotation has been made, so Loyu's in the area to try and defend, but the movement, because Genexus actually rotated into address NC, GEEK fam, straight path through. No contention, and they might be the one gatekeeping Genexus.
That's right, and it's going to be a really tough rotation for most of these players out there. 4-4 finds himself at AWM. Oh, we definitely do miss this weapon overall, 4-4. Hoping to pop heads. And, you know, since we have a little bit of time here, going back to that story, I think my ideal setup, if ever, say, I find $1,000, I mean, $1 million.
$1 million, yeah.
$1 million to run a team. I'd rather make a gaming office instead of a gaming house because that's where they treat this seriously, right?
That's true.
That's a different approach.
But you pay for convenience, though.
That's true.
Yeah, I don't think they'll be happy sleeping in an office where people frequent by.
That's right.
Yeah.
But here goes a little bit more of a tussle between the two teams, NC as well as MAB. They've locked cons before inside of angle, and they do it again. Rush now to get it taken down. Luyu getting a pick onto Frankie as well. That's a little bit of distance, but he will try to stack up this point. One more tap will do. Luyu, can he get it though? Oh man, doesn't seem like he could claim it, but he will, at least with the final few touches.
MAB will still be in the game. Oh, I don't think they lose a single member there. They can still go in with the pickup, although he is in the blue. Thinking in a little bit right now, but man, Flax OP being all flexible, it seems, can still play against the pressure despite falling out and actually trading that one. He saw the grenade being tossed on forward onto his general vicinity, but nothing too lethal as of yet. And Yen, he has to go in for the revive.
Oh boy, Xamsi catches out 4-4, even though he has that AWM.
Oh.
I really do wonder how. And that's what I was talking about, like Xamsi being a very sharp shooter. And yeah, Yen now having that pickup, it becomes a 2v1 once again for DBD. Hiding inside of the smokes for quite some time now. Flax opting to press on. He still has his vehicle working, so that engine will run. I understand now. 4-4, he tried to move into the compound, but that will be an easy pickup for the side of Crit VIP. Yuhan now getting some taps over on his corner. Luyu once again gets another pickup against Echo. DBD under fire.
Yep, they are finally making their way into circle, which means Genexus now pushes DBD, and they push them hard here. Thankfully for DBD, they did take out Tabah NSEA's Flax OP, which means they can divide their attention or allocate them towards handling Genexus, but it is Genexus after all. So you need every member as you can get. Meanwhile, Yuhai spraying down 4 rivals, already take 1 member, might look to get another one here. More nades from Lung, takes down DBD. HYVE to fall on with.
Whoa, Genexus really hitting hard onto HYVE International as well. There's a lot of names out there being crossed off. Now, Appy tries to fight right back. Losing 2 much early on. Razor now will be his main primary target. Vehicle now being broken, stuck in between. But then again, they're already inside the circle. They just have to really play a proning game, as Crit VIP has a really interesting spread into 4 different directions they look at. And it's going to be hard for recovery if any of the members get knocked out. Now Circle will move right back into the hillside, closer to Chumacera.
They're by the crossroads here, and you know what they say about the devils in the crossroads. I don't know what they say because I didn't do that deal with the devil, but that will be happening right now. I think there's going to be a bloodbath sooner than later. Genexus has to face up against HYVE, which they've taken down 2 members, I think. They have DBD up front, so they have gotten their hands tied for the time being. But those 2 other teams that I mentioned, they're not so comfortable as well, seeing as though they might just be victims of sandwiches in this tight circle. So Luyu already got the mark onto 1 member of HYVE. It's Vigor. Just looking to go in with a confirmed kill before GEEK Fam actually comes in, though.
Oh, great spot on sight over onto Damroot. And there's just one player right beneath Luyu who's not making a move. And that's going to be HYVE International trying to claim that territory quietly. But things aren't so quiet for Crit VIP though. Nades are now being primed towards the direction of RSG. They all avoid that grenade. And maybe they should move away from here, but they will have to press on the attack. Now seeking out Somnus, he just gets a glimpse now inside of the smoke. Not even trying to spray right back. One tag coming in from Sem9. And now they're sandwiched in between. Not a good news for RSG, who finished second much early on.
Yeah, look at Crit VIP. This is an insane spread immediately coming from the flank side. They didn't see him. He was crawling his way to get this position. Gets the one knock immediately. The rest of Crit VIP, Insomnus in position to come in to help his allies with the flank. Meanwhile, let's take a look at Farang Guerilla's up against Yoodo Alliance. It seems like any one of these two will bow out. Dingoz coming in as the third party. Looking to clean here through the windows. Adik Luke. Oh, he spots one out. He knows he saw a little grenade goes through the cubby hole. And well, he will identify the threat.
They're both outside of the play zone though. It's not going to look all too good. They're not willing to take an exit for now. Helton, just by the edge of it. He's going to try to keep himself safe so long as he can. But he's only got 15 seconds before this blue zone depletes. So, time is of the essence. Grenades slop right in. Rex trades back. They managed to find Insomnus there. One member down out of Crit VIP. And they're still marking on to Sam Z. Gets that knock. It's going to be Yuhai from the back. And now, trouble lies ahead of Crit members out there. No way to save either Razor or even Examzi.
Meanwhile, GEEK fam still playing in the map here. Ooh, just dangling with death there. But he will get his health back up. He does have a med kit. GEEK fam, 5 kills already. Still in the game. Genexus as well. All 4 members looking to contest for that chicken dinner again. Yuhai has got eyes on members of Crit VIP, and I think he will tap one down. XMZ is next under crosshair, and that should be it. Or is there?
Oh, it's him that actually claims the point instead of Yuhai. All that hard work for nothing, they say. And Olio, the moment he pops right downwards, harm gets in the way. Violations coming in for MAB Esports. That's going to be a huge nade. Clipping onto 2. Same goes to Adik Luke, soaking a little bit more damage. But the smoke is subsiding. They have to press on, push through. Helton. He might be the difference maker here for our Yoodo Alliance, but he's outside of the play zone here. He has to move right in, and he gets spotted out instead. Quick work coming from Lord Harm.
Crit VIP now about out, but now Sem9 looking like they might just join the brothers in the grave here as another member drops down. Only 2 more left to play. Dap is there to come in with some fire. Some cover fire to maybe negate some of the threat, but it is Yoodo Alliance who failed to do so and will be the ones eliminated. 5 kills so far for Sem9.
Oh boy. Axis still holding on with 4 members out there. RSG still getting sprayed even on the outskirts. Nowhere seems to be safe. There's going to be the high ground advantage coming in. And GEEK fam, they're still by the edges of it all. So 2 members have to be let go. Riv tries to book it out alive, and he's driving towards the direction where Sem9 is at. Out in the open fields, DBD will have to make their way across the street, and this highway might send some of them to hell.
GEEK fam, though, playing a little bit brave here, seeing as though that they have majority of the circle going down their favor. They have control on this map. It's Genexus who tries to crash onto the likes of GEEK fam, but takes down members right now, falling like flies. Genexus only have 3 to play around with. 1 out of commission, needs to get picked up.
Oh boy, Lung now needing a little bit of helping hand. They will try to break the vehicle. Biu trying to give a little bit of assistance. Both of them being knocked down as well. Now it's only down to Captain Biu, and it's all due to Ziggs. Oh, actually, it's Biu that gets knocked out when he tries to get in the vehicle. Sharp shots coming in. Xiaoboy tries to save the day, but it's going to be a GEEK fam victory. And they will now secure 9 total points and takes out Genexus, settling for 6.
This is just going good for GEEK fam. This is exactly what they needed to actually come out ahead. And they know that Genexus is the closest threat towards chasing them in the PMGC points, and they eliminated the right team, and they will further on play this map to maybe exacerbate the lead that they've currently built.
Exacerbate.
Yeah.
Fancy words out there, my friend. Katam Susu, though, not so fancy with movement, but he tries to survive. Will be picked off instead. Axis redONE on strike, but it didn't really catch on to members of SEM9. Now, Adams try to leave one member out there. Still pulling on the ground. Deb can still play this one out. Deb's also getting shot from the back. Four rivals picks him off. And it's only down to Pamburu. He hasn't got a kill yet. That could be his first. But now that there's shots towards his direction, he needs to be careful because HYVE is now hunting out.
Imagine if four rivals clutch this one out. Actually getting chicken dinner. That would be amazing.
It definitely will be amazing, but not time yet.
And yeah, it's
no
well,
points.
as we said it, cursed him and he will fall, and HYVE maybe will fall on too. Because Adams already has him by the crosshair here. Ooh, spots the head out by not hitting the mark. Micah, can he roll over the right person? He will. That's a roadkill right there.
That's getting squad, and that's a painful way to go out. But SEM9 at least finishes on top 3. GEEK fam now will cover every corner where DBD is currently hiding. DBD trying to fend them off, but it's only down to one member left. And how long can they hide? Because the GEEKs are coming for them. Once a GEEK, always a fam. And Yen cannot outlast them overall. And GEEK fam comes up with a huge victory.
You know what they say about the GEEKs? They rule the world, and in this map of Miramar, they definitely did here. Taking home that chicken dinner and a wafty. 15 kills! This team! Who the heck? Who is beating this team? They are just insane again. They are out of this world, and all thanks to the alien brought over. I think that technology is a bit too hard to handle.
That's right, 30 points there should be able to give them chase against Steve Bosskurr, who was at the top. So let's see whether if that is actually enough, because Bosskurr, they held their own too. But then again, they're not in this group.
Yeah.
So with them taking that break, everyone wish that GEEK fam's not playing right now. So GEEK fam, once again, they are on fire.
The fact that Bosskurr didn't play this map means now Bosskurr trails behind. I remember they were both 75 even on the dot at their points. And now here comes, no, Bosskurr was 116, the first team to hit the triple digit.
That's right.
And so, they might, okay, we'll just figure out when they do get the grab. Well, I was trying to do quick math here, but I realized that's why I'm here talking and not actually on a desk counting numbers.
Do you need like a Chinese abacus or something? Abacus?
No, I'm not abacus trained.
Same. So that's why we don't do math here. We'll just wait for the producers while we pick out all these highlights. Where we saw a lot of all these prolific moves coming out of the squads out there. PIP this time really stretching it out with their members late into many corners of the map. And that was also them taking the short end of the stick by the end of it, because one gets knocked, it's a domino effect.
Yeah, and it's a very great effort from them, right? Like, although they only bow out with like 4 kills, that's more than what they would have gotten in their usual playstyle playing the passive aggressive team, right? They always bow out in like, I don't know, top 10 position, maybe even 12-13 with 0 kills. But with their aggression, they're getting 4, and maybe they're still out in top 5. And so I think that's something to look at. Crit VIP, if you're going back to the drawing board, try and explore more of this.
That's right, and they definitely have used so many of all these grenades to really flush out many of all these teams. 21 frags, you're telling me. Everyone else has only got like, what, 4, 3, 2-ish. But that moment when Genexus crashed in is where GEEK fam was on high alert, and they're pretty much wild up because they take down Genexus and they know, okay, this round is going to work much easier than we think it will be at right after.
Now here we go, the champs of the champs right now. The most performing team in the PMPL MYSGPH. It is GEEK fam. 15 eliminations, 15 ranking points. It's a full 30 Only one more elimination and they'll probably match up against their record high 31 total points over in Erangel, but this time around doing it over in Miramar. Sam9 did absolutely perfect as well, 18 points. DBD coming in with 14.
That's right, and oh my word, it's Hammer here with a perfect 900 damage. You add another 0, it's over 9,000, but yeah, 3.5 MVP points acquired from this run. 4 elimination points, 25% of contribution, meaning to say everybody's basically hitting 4-pointers to 5-pointers each.
I mean, it is GEEK fam. I'm not surprised. There is no weak link, and I think the interview that we had against with their boss, their manager, it tells true because Damroot, he handpicked and cherry-picked these players based on the flaws of the previous season, and right now they're looking like not a single weak link in the team right now. Number 1 spot, 123 total points.
123, and we're also seeing Bosskurr being pushed down. Sam9 now ties the point here with Axis redONE, and 4 Rivals is only 1 point behind at top 5, so it's definitely looking relatively interesting overall because anywhere from 3rd to 6th could interchange. Tabah NSEA with 71, 66 for Quick VIP, now slides down to 7th. 60 for DVD, Team Secret with 51, tied with RSG. Meanwhile, we see 4 teams with 40 over points. Genexus at least moves back up to 11, but there's still more work to be done here.
Definitely more work indeed. It's grind time for some of them here, especially Genexus, who was trying their best to make it all the way up to the top, get those PMGC points, which, let's be honest, is the ultimate prize in this tournament alone, because going all over to the world stage, it brings so much value to the brand, so much highlights or eyeballs towards the experience, the players, not to mention the experience they gain, and not to mention the prize pool at stake.
That's a lot of money out there to be taken into consideration, so everyone's definitely fully focused on performance out there. Just don't get too green-eyed, because if you want to get more greens, go into the PMGC. That's where the big money's at. Overall, there's so much in store. If you guys are into esports and aspiring to become the next superstar of PUBG Mobile, train hard, but of course, don't neglect all your responsibilities like studies and, you know, people back at home and loved ones to take care of them as well. So, who knows? You might just be joining GEEK Fam one day or another, or even some of all these big teams like Team Secret. The list goes on.
Which is healthy, right? You want to have, in Malaysia, they call it pelapis, or the filters. The people who's going to take after the likes of HYVE, because let's be honest, they can't do this one forever. They're going to either pivot their followings into maybe turn into an influencer, maybe start a brand of their own, and maybe start a business of their own, leveraging whatever they've built in their youth. And so someone has to step up to the plate and fill in that position, and that could be you. But of course, that all starts by having a gaming phone and a Yoodo SIM card to start the grind right early and right now.
That's right. Make the dare to leave, and you'll be able to basically be the one to hopefully be on the global stage. So, is it time for us to also talk to some victors here, or should it be the final game?
I think we'll save that for towards the end of the night here. We still have one more Miramar map to play, and we like to keep surprises all the way to the end because we love you guys, and that's why we like to keep you waiting. You know, it's called an edge. Meanwhile, let's take a look at some of the stats in the previous match here. And without further ado, decipher
this. Okay, I would say that with my sort of analysis, it's based on the location that they've secured from phase 2 and 3 onwards, because as much as Genexus have been looking mighty fine on that La Reala hill, the moment that they choose to push wasn't really sublime. So it goes down to GEEK Fam, how they've rotated from the outskirts, somewhat trolling the same exact move that Genexus have did, because they cut through Montenevo and then later on basically take out some of these players of Quick VIP, takes over that same exact spot, and then that's where the rest of the teams were basically fighting each other out, especially the ones over on the south side. There was just too much going on, but Genexus, they could choose 2 options here. Either run into DBD or run into GEEK Fam, but they took the highway instead, the shortest route into that area, which is definitely a good option. But the problem is they're in such a defensive setup that it's hard for any members of GEEK fam, I mean Genexus, to take out GEEK fam overall. So from the bird's eye view from Buru, it looks like, okay, he's in the middle of it all, but then again, no cover whatsoever. We see Yuhai taking him out. Meanwhile, what's really surprising to me is that Sem9 couldn't actually make it out alive because they tried to move out, they lost their vehicles, and they had to battle against the rest of Axis redONE, tripping by the edges there. And then it's down to DBD, the last one through the hills, to fight against GEEK fam.
Yeah, it's also Bomburu who was in position. I think he was the one who sprayed down some members of Sem9 from the flank side, or Yuhai, someone coming in from the right side, that's for sure. So Sem9 with already Yuhai taking out Dep, who was on top. Immediately they go in for the push. It was one member left. I think Putra was already on his knees when that one happened. They will clean that one up relatively easy, and they turn their fight onto the likes of DBD, which just based on the entirety of the spread that GEEK fam has been able to accomplish in this circle, DBD finds themselves just, well, outnumbered, being surrounded. A wounded animal by the corner. And as much as they'd like to bite, they really can't reach any of them. And so they will go down. GEEK fam, all members still engaged.
Exactly, and GEEK fam definitely knew how to wrap them all around, like a little bit of a Christmas present to deliver to the audience out there that's been supporting them all the way throughout. So that wraps up the recap of what went on inside of the match with a little bit of breakdown. So GEEK fam now finally getting themselves that ticket dinner after a few hard run-ins from the previous matches. I believe that there's still one more for them to go. So let's see what will happen in the final map of Miramar coming up next. So is it time to take a break yet?
Not really. I think I don't have to use a washroom. Why? Are you feeling so?
Well,
okay.
I guess I'll allow you to get to the washroom, but hold it for a bit. We have to say goodbye for the moment, but few minutes time, we'll be right back.
Binabay ang iyong nakikita na nga namin. by RSG Rex. Tuloy mo pa.
Meron pang 5. Pero Mika OP, alam na alam kung nasan si Iftar. Ba't ka nagpapanggap na bato? Ikaw pa yan na. Huwag lang mananakdown, Yuhai. Take care. Kanina pa kayo bumabaril. Siguro konti na lang, pero si Mika OP ay bumaba na nga, mga kaibigan. Kasi nga gumagalaw na ang blue zone. One courtesy of Snipe. And right now, boom!
Now, paano kayo makakapagkap ng ating mantikap at harapan na nga ito? Ulo to ulo, head to head. Sino kaya ang magwawagi sa ating GEEK pamatak sa SMG? But yun na nga, HomeBois, paripan to...
Season 3, Neo Speed Awakens. Ryumi, Dare to Leap.
Welcome back to the 2022 PMPL MYSGPH Fall, and it's Contract here alongside with Keith, and it's time for us to find out who will be the one to take home the final chicken dinner here on day 2, week 3. So far, GEEK fam is now back in their alien form, you say. Alien form.
Their astral touristic. What's the word? I don't know. How do you describe air?
Extraterrestrial?
There we go. So maybe that's what the act suit was all about.
Okay. Now you make a point here. I thought the act suit was more of like a mummy suit or something like that, but well, people have once theorized that back in the days in ancient Egypt is where there was aliens that helped them
aliens,
build those pyramids, and that's why they have what is greatest civilization.
You know, there's another theory that aliens actually look like Yuhai himself. The same. Good-looking guy.
Good-looking guy.
Good-looking alien too, and that's why people get probed, and they allow it.
I'll be worried because no ladies will be interested in normal guys anymore.
Yeah, set the standards too high. You could even say it's, you know, sky high.
Yeah. Meanwhile, of course, I have seen on the first slide that was Damrude, and now Mika is the one with the high simulation from that previous round, with Luyu taking third place. If only the Nexus lasted a little bit longer on the fight, because if they did take out GEEK fam, that chicken dinner could have been theirs. And this is the final match of today, where we will see Group B sit out, so we won't be having GEEK fam. So they take a break, so they close it up on a high note. Now, with the bar being set, is it going to be Bosskurr? Is it going to be other teams that will be claiming this chicken dinner?
Yeah, I think some of the underdogs might actually have a shot at it. I'm feeling like, well, I mean, I'll save my predictions later, but I'm feeling like someone in Group D, the underdogs, will have a chance to get this chicken dinner.
Group D?
Yeah.
Okay. So
that did narrow things down. Half of that in a group is an underdog.
I'm thinking that you're going to be voting for MUGEN for the first time.
Oh.
Is that it?
Sounds like a good proposition. MUGEN did get close to his chicken dinner.
Indeed they do. And of course, prediction time. And before we go into predictions, of course, we got the 6 set that you could actually add up to your collection. And well, oh well. Bramble Overlord set, Chapter 3, Protecting the World Gate.
Every bass drop ever.
Directed by Michael Bay.
Go get yourself the Bramble Overlord set. I think we just ran out of means to sell it. It is a man with a whip. So if you don't want that, I don't know what could possibly interest you. But this is a real manly man thing here. Koenigsegg, actually, cars have been loved by women as well.
Yeah.
Especially hypercars. They think it's super sexy. So if you don't own one in real life, like I don't, this is the next best thing to do it. You do risk a little bit of catfish because you don't know who's at the other end impressed. But hey, it's a risk I'm willing to take.
That's right. And this is the exit that that is coming soon. As you could definitely check out the Ancient Secret Journey alongside with it, but you definitely want to ascend to the Prime Form Hero with the suit that you don't want to miss out on. So make sure you top out all the sort of RP, and you'll be able to get yourself a lot more stuff.
Extraterrestrial, right?
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
The X suit.
It gives you the X factor too.
Well, we'll see if it's going to help us in our predictions, though, because I think in this match, it's going to go DBD.
DBD, you call them an underdog? I don't think so.
They are an underdog.
I don't think so. Last week they did so well.
Yeah, but
this week they do.
But historically, they have zero history behind them. They're new badge, new
it's
logo.
It's just a new rebranded name of Anti-Circle or RTK.
Who did do very well in previous
RTK,
seasons.
I would say. There was a season where RTK actually did extremely well because like Ziggs popped off.
Yeah.
There was also Izane in it.
Yeah, and they're all taken out of it. So what does that make this? A shell of its former self. Makes it an underdog.
Okay. Interesting way to put it. And Izane now in Team Secret is definitely enjoying his time there in the team. But of course, even for Team Secret, they have days where they didn't really get all too much done as well. But this week, at least, we've seen them actually get chicken dinner, I do believe, and they've been able to get into certain standings. So I feel like Team Secret, they're just going to play for the later half of the week, and they still should be able to make it to the top 16 of the Grand Finals itself.
Yeah, for teams like Team Secret, they don't really care who's at #1. They just want to make it into the top 16 because Grand Finals is probably where they can, you know, come in a bit more solid and make sure that they end up on top, because that is, after all, the de facto deciding factor. Only top 7 will move over to the SEA Championship. And so Team Secret, that's when it really matters the most, because everything, although you do get a little bit of bonus points, head start towards the country final accumulatively, but I don't think it's such a game breaker.
Yep, and speaking of which, I believe that it's time for us to look into the map once again, as we're going to start it off within 1 minute duration. So that circle itself is a little bit rough for most of all these players out there to play out, and GEEK Fam actually closed it out. Now without GEEK Fam here, it's a land of opportunities here in Miramar, and we're going to be seeing whether or not can teams like Four Rivals really claim it, just like how you predict early on, but you're calling it DBD this time.
Yep.
So DBD, they definitely have what it takes here to win.
I mean, it shouldn't be a shadow of a doubt now, because in the previous Miramar map, they did get 2nd place. So they were close too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think they definitely had it, and riding off of good momentum, this could be their map.
And it definitely will be a little bit of a hurdle for them to take, so is everybody else. And of course, for those of you guys who are in here, here's our final match in Miramar for Day 2 of Week 3. You're currently watching the 2022 PMPL MYSGPH. This one starts off from the southern side, cuts across from prison itself, all the way into Campo Militar. This is by far the best flight for every team out there to reach wherever they need to be.
Yeah, that's true. It's pretty much dead center here. I mean, sure, it could go up vertically a little bit, maybe cut through San Martin instead, but still, not much of a deal breaker here. Every team should be able to go to where they want to. Maybe questionable with HYVE International, since they like to go over in La Cabrera. But I think with the fact that GEEK Fam is currently absent, they could instead choose to go onto El Pozo or play somewhere closer down the line.
Yeah, and with that,
oh, Axis,
they're just dropping into the far corners of the map again. The safest way to go about, but if it goes up north, then I don't know, they just have to copy the playbook of Tabah NSEA, I guess.
This was the same drop they had when HYVE came in and wiped them out.
Yeah. It's like, when you are playing at the very corner of the map, it tells you one thing. You want to start off very passively. You're not ready for fights. And I guess Axis, they lost out because of that. Deldo, he's not the island boy. He's on the mainland. So at least he can scout out ahead and find a vehicle if they need to. As this circle does go up central north. So Crit VIP on a good position. at the very least, by the edge of water treatment. Has a few players out there in the Hacienda del Patron. Well, speaking of Chumacera, Zix here starting off with the Mini 14. As you can see that this is one of the favorite weapons of most of the long-range players because you can equip an extended mag, make it a 30 clip. The recoil into bat as well. So long as you have long scopes, you can work wonders with it.
I mean, it goes down to the user, right? We've seen, who was that? Who shot with a mini Uzi from a far distance. I remember that scene happening. And he shot the mark.
Last season?
Yeah, last season. But who was the person shooting? Was it Damroot?
It might be Damroot, it might be Riff. Some of these guys out there really know how to work it out. But I believe there's also a little bit of nerf to the micro Uzi, which is why you don't see it as frequently as before. And players rather go up close and personal with those DBS nowadays. Like, if you want to clear compounds really quick, it's an efficient weapon to do so. Bew, captain of Genexus, trying to get back into the usual form. Has an average of 1 elimination point per round. And of course, an average of 200 over damage. Same goes to HomeBois here, with some good stats going for him. Follow PUBG Mobile.esports.my. That's a lot of dots, so remember to put it in between those words. So you can basically catch everything that they've been doing behind the scenes. And also, if you do miss out, you know, one match or two in between the week, that's the easiest way that you could basically follow us with all this sort of action that we have here on the league.
And meanwhile, Axis now finds their way the furthest part of the islands. Well, I'd say the second island. A mini little ridge there, in which probably a man-made island that is. Over in Los Higos, they will play as a duo, and they'll have the time to loot for the entirety of this duration. But they're all spread apart, Axis. Kajang Susu is already someplace else.
Yeah, I guess like when you're playing far south, there's no other cities that's going to be located around you other than Los Leones. So there's ample of free space that you can cut across because Del, he was in the mainland. He has opened up a little bit more room. Therefore, it allows it to be a lot safer. Oh, I'm going to give him 50 points for that sort of drift. How many points will you give?
None. You know why? He should have done it on a Koenigsegg.
That's asking for too much, man.
Hey.
Koenigsegg on the desert, you're destroying the vehicle.
Of course, they don't last forever anyway. It's a hypercar.
But then again, it's the experience that lasts forever. So that is something that you don't want to miss because, you know, if you want to catch eyes upon you, that's one way to do it. So far, Team Hawk has been doing a lot of quick loots here and are already leaving Picado into the hills that they're about to book. Gonna be a prime location for them to play out from. Zully now charges upwards, and I wonder where exactly will the final circle be because a lot of teams are aiming to be on the far northern end as compared to staying put, though they are already within that first phase of the circle.
That's a good question, and for that, I think I would love to see the map and where the circle might potentially close, but I guess that one's happening later on in the day. A bit too soon, maybe.
Give it 2 minutes. The circle's closing up.
Yeah, I'll wait the 2 minutes. Keep that a surprise. Meanwhile, for VIP, impatient, but they get what they want, a kill. At the very least, not secured just yet, but now Razor finds himself outnumbered, outgunned. With the rest of 7-9, Adib's trying to go peek in. He's got the crate, but on the wrong side. But ooh, can he crate one onto Adibs? No, he cannot. Adibs did fall pretty low. Secured the kill though, so no more info going on their way. Crit VIP, do they look to push or book out the ticket right now? And it seems like they're going with full-fledged aggression. Now this is a team that I'd like to see go popping heads here, going up against Truck. Drop shot is there, but he lost out on the trade. They're trading it. Confirms the kill. Bebeng. He's now playing with Insomnus, and Sam9 only left Putra alive. But oh my god, from the far side, it is Fredo who eliminates the likes of Crit VIP.
Man, here to spoil the party And they were just about to crush off Sem9 as well. And Sem9 gotta thank their nemesis for this. It's like, okay, we'll get you next time. For now, we'll let you go. That's a little bit of a rowdy ride, and Crit VIP could have actually capitalized there.
Yeah.
And though they didn't get the first blood or anything at all, it just shows that this team can fight.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Like, at least it's not for the lack of trying. They had that. It was a third-party factor. Boo-hoo, you can't do much about it. But, man, they had that fight. They definitely had it.
Yeah. Gotta put a ring on it.
But then you'll be tied down a lifetime. See? And if you didn't have a prenup, you're losing half your stuff.
Prenup?
You've never heard about it? Oh, no.
I've heard about it.
My friend, time to get yourself a prenup before you make a commitment you can't go back on.
Okay. Well, of course, we have a lot of free time, and you have a lot of free data. All thanks to Yoodo, powered by Cellcom. For those who are using it so far, tell us your experience. Pretty sure it's going to be great reviews anyways, like money saving, data saving.
I mean, how much can you complain when it's free to play PUBG Mobile?
Nothing to complain.
Exactly. So if it's all free, that sounds good to me.
I remember an experience where back then, before the pandemic, a lot of these PUBG Mobile tournaments were held offline, and sometimes it's overseas. There's also roaming, which gives us a really decent price, like no other. That's why you got to consider equipping yourself with the finest, and Yoodo definitely offering the best choice.
Honestly, if you told me that data roaming, you can allocate X amount for it, I'll hop on it straight away, because I think data roaming is the most expensive service you could ever ask from a of it onto my data roaming. And that's 120 gig overseas, in which I don't have to get a new SIM number.
Honestly, even 120 gigs are like overkill. Like 50 gigs itself, like on top of Wi-Fi usage that you go for.
In overseas, it burns off pretty relatively fast.
Okay, makes sense, makes sense. But then again, now we're going to be looking back into the game, because there's a lot of data that we have to process right here. Team Secret right in the middle of Hacienda, driving towards water treatment. So they're trying to stray away from all these sort of danger zones. MUGEN that will move inside of Minas Generalis. Well, RSG has already left the vicinity, it seems. So Farang, they will be taking over instead. MUGEN just passing by, maybe just cutting into the junkyard area for a little bit more of a safety net. MUGEN now currently positioned 13th. Of course, disregarding the teams that are not playing right now.
Yeah, also Genexus found a clean entrance here. Coming in from the west side, since everyone's busy down south, saturated down below. And Genexus might maybe get this one in the bag. Obviously, eyes on DVD for me. Can't go back on my words, but Genexus, if they're hoping for a good game today, this could be it.
Though in the last round of Miramar, they managed to secure a top 7 or top 6 finish.
4 kills.
4 kills in the name. Could have been more. It seemed like it's 8, though. And now, long-range taps coming in from Damn Cutie. It's been years, and he's still a cutie.
Dude didn't age. Look at him.
Yeah?
He looks like a little boy. I almost feel bad.
Why do you feel bad?
It's because I'm calling him a little boy. And you know how it is in a man's world, right? You want to look older so you're respected. To a certain degree.
Yeah, but then again, there's a lot of boys here who are still playing, and they're really looking sharp. One such player is Rapple Boy, then you have Smell Boy, now known as Xiao Boy. How many other boys do we have? Para Boy. He's in a different league of his own.
Yeah, but he's a thirst trapper, you know?
Thirst trap?
Yeah, that's what people say, right? Good-looking guys, probably millions of followers over in TikTok, which, by the way, PUBG Mobile's on TikTok, in case you didn't already know. Go over to PUBG Mobile MY official for the Malaysian side, PUBG Mobile Esports.SG for Singapore, and PUBG Mobile official PH for Philippines.
Yeah, and of course, shout out and mabuhay to all my other caster friends back in the Philippines. Hope you guys are holding up fine through these weeks. No, it's a long run of the league. And of course, make sure you guys stay hydrated. That's my message. If they're actually hearing, they're actually at work right now.
Yeah, they're doing the Filipino cast, which, funnily enough, I cannot find. I've been trying to locate it. I can't find it on Facebook.
At PUBG Mobile PH, or go to YouTube, your safest bet.
Yeah, I found them
or
on YouTube.
Find them on TikTok, our official social media partners.
Hi. Meanwhile, Genexus now finds their way center circle.
You're just not trying hard enough. That's why. So don't blame it on other people.
No, I choose where my efforts go into, and it depends on what the returns are of that effort.
Right. Okay, then. Suit yourself. Meanwhile, look at how congested this valley is. And this valley, the center point of a lot of casualties that come by. In moments time, Genexus now smack right dap in the center. As we have NC taking out the Car 98K. Feels like an ancient weapon that nobody uses nowadays. Spots movements from Axis redONE. And I don't know if they're going to be able to actually remain safe. The good thing about single tap weapons or bolt action rifles is that you just remove helmets immediately, and this is where Katsususu tries to remove a player out of Axis. A little bit of distance here, but shots are now being fired. Still not safe for them to claim, but Katsususu will not be revived nonetheless.
Oh, Axis Katsususu just played it absolutely smart. He knew that his flank side is being covered right now, so that he'll try to bait them into that position, but unfortunately he will bow out before he could actually get in the refrag. So NC comes out with 1 kill. Axis still has 3 members, and they have eyes on the rest of NC, so I don't know who really has the upper hand here, but it is NC who's making their way into the circle further, and might just even gatekeep the like of Axis themselves.
Magic's now zooming up the heels. Got the 4x scope. Good enough for a Car 98K. He just don't want a freaking red dot on this weapon. It's not going to make anything happen. But we've seen, even in some instances where you have no scopes at all, you can still land those taps. Just gotta pray that it lands. Meanwhile, Ares now playing for MUGEN. Has his eyes onto Team Bosskurr. It's got great looking hair, I gotta say. Love this style.
Yeah, it's reminding me of one of the anime. I believe it's called Attack on Titan.
Oh, which character though?
Eren Yeager.
Eren Yeager.
Yeah.
But here you have Aaron Chan.
The curtain cuts. You know, maybe you should sport the same haircut.
I used to have that same haircut. Just that it doesn't look as...
What, the curtains?
Yeah.
Classic curtains, god dang.
You call them curtains, man.
Because it looks like a curtain. Before I mean, back in the days where they had curtains for 6 months.
If you have really long hair and you just block your own face, that's a curtain to me. Because I always keep my curtain shut. Anyways.
Well, Genexus getting to a prime position to actually gatekeep the likes of Team Huck, maybe even Sam9 to follow with, and DBD. All hopes and dreams, my hopes and dreams lies with them. It seems like they might just have found themselves in a harder path to follow.
Yeah, and this is just the middle of the phase right now. So Genexus, they're planning themselves over onto the corners of Hacienda. It's still going to be a risky place to play from, but they will be able to farm some numbers if they do get the crosshair shooting at members like Team Hawk. Some shots being let loose from Yoodo Alliance, so far away. Axis tries to cut through the back. Might just meet up with the rest of Team Secret if they go further front. Bosskurr still holding on to that #1 position, but they haven't found themselves any sort of kills for the moment. Sam9 has already gotten 2. And 1 apiece for the rest of them. Farang at least got themselves 1 in the back, and they're about to land another one.
Wait, what? That blew himself up, it seems. I think he cooked that nade a little bit too long.
Maybe he was trying to throw, and then, like, once he got knocked down, it drops to the floor. That could be it.
That could be it. Yeah, that could be it. Maybe.
Point denied, I guess. But actually, Farang still gets themselves that frack though.
Yeah.
Third pointer in, and MAB outclasses Iron Pro with a headshot and another headshot, making the pain last.
Make it last forever, they say. Back in the 2000s where, you know, emo was the thing, and right now, HomeBois.
It's not a face.
Yeah.
I tell you, it's not a face.
Trying to be the cool kids. HomeBois, unfortunately, what? Down to the last member? Whatever happened?
Well, getting picked on, that's what happened. As Semi had to move out of the territory, but they do find 2 knocks by Adams. All lined up in the collateral. And now, seems like there's only going to be 1 member left behind.
He's going to cross, though. Adams tries to make it a pass. That will be burned in the blue here. Crippled by Funkil, who got him right by the Achilles tendon. Cannot run forever.
He used to be an adventurer like you till he took lead to defeat. I'm pretty sure that's not how it ends.
It doesn't rhyme that way. It has to be the knee.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, meanwhile, speaking about which, though, Funkil just did some absolute questionable maneuver. He just threw himself out on a moving vehicle and, well, broke his own legs in the process, so he will bow out. Meanwhile, Axis and NC, it seems like this rivalry hasn't found itself towards an end just yet, but it is the member of NC gatekeeping Axis.
Yeah, great shot coming in from Luyu once again, and Xiaoboy trying to break out his vehicle. He does get the knock, and that makes it 2. Quick pick downs there onto DBD members. Now, Jimmy OP is out there in the middle of the open. A little bit risky pay, but oh my goodness. Still managed to spot them out on the outskirts. They're already struggling, and Xiaoboy just hurts the rest of DBD, so there goes your predictions.
Well, that's, like I said, they are underdogs. I wasn't expecting more of this. That was wishful thinking.
Wishful thinking.
Wishful thinking.
13 is where you're at. So, at least that's a pubescent H. Rip now with a grenade.
I don't know what to say. That sounded borderline illegal.
Okay. But this circle seems quite illegal to me. Look at how far it goes up.
Oh, 4 rivals. I knew it. One of the Miramar maps.
Like I tell you so. 4 rivals. Just basically making things happen. Isaac now from Team Secret gets one. RG trying to cut by from the south side. Has to duel with Bosskurr, as well as the sole member of Yoodo Alliance hiding behind that truck. They could just easily break it down. Doesn't seem like RSG need to worry about it. Great to see Ranger having a little bit more airtime as well on screen. Has been working out a lot in-game, out-of-game. Got the massive biceps. One role model of a pro player, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, if you get yourself in a balanced life, and that makes you an athlete already, right? Doing things nobody can and still keeping a prime performance. But that shot right there, man, Axis found themselves on a back foot just when they thought they were the gatekeepers. But MUGEN, the MUGEN train arrived but got derailed, especially with Ham 10K. Now Virgil is left. Champion the rest of MUGEN up against the 4 of 4 rivals.
Oh man, MUGEN not really in the best position out there, hugging by the corners of the wall. Team Hot tried to push through. They're just going to be holding out for now. NC now challenges them. And it's not going to be all too good, though. No vision whatsoever, and that's going to be more names on the board. Edgerton finds members of Team Secret. Ranger now being pinned out by Bosskurr as well. And the name starts to roll across the map. We need a bird's eye view.
Yeah, but 4 rivals. Instead, this will be the highlight that we will focus on. Oh, correct me myself. Genexus now goes down. One after another. And I think there was one member of MUGEN, it was Xiaoboy who actually hopped off his vehicle and had to pay the handsome price here. And now Team Hawk spraying down against NC, who has made their way past of Axis. Now finds himself in another trouble.
Great headshot coming out of eye shots right there. Eliminates Axis Red 1. Spot on, as we still have so many of all these players here hustling over on the other corners of the map. Now, these hills definitely have a lot of creases for them to hide out, so Team Secret can play it slowly. They don't have to rush, as 4 Rivals is going to be the next one closest to them, and they don't seem to have those numbers to fight off just yet.
Meanwhile, Team Hawk, again, they've turtled themselves up to the last 6 teams at the very least. Here, still have 4 members. All they have to do is gatekeep the likes of Tabah NSEA, but as we've seen before, it's not the easiest thing to do, but Zali is repositioning himself, but he's got to worry about 4 Rivals coming from his direction instead. Oh, nades, Genexus.
Oh boy, this is not looking good, but Bosskurr tried to trade right back. Great nade, drop right in. Xiaoboy pushes upwards. Xiaoboy will be found by the rest of NSEA, if that's even a word. And NSEA also spots the rest of Bosskurr. Xiaoboy tries to move backwards. That grenade's gonna clip. Bosskurr gets that knock. They have to leave Zigzag behind.
Unfortunate. Zigzag is the cluster, but it is Asfar and Aboy. If they're still up playing, there's always a shot for Bosskurr. Genexus now down again. Not so much of a great run, but at least at subpar with 6 eliminations and 6th place. That should give them at least maybe 10 points. But 4 Rivals now, they are here and they are looking strong to play here in the middle of the circle. They have the most control, gatekeeping the other teams from getting in, and Team Secret is under the gunfire.
Oh, Isaac tries to trade right back. He spots out members of the side of 4 Rivals, and they're still looking to have the entirety of the sector here being booked out. Dams pushes forward, almost getting a clip, and he's still living alive. And he almost got both of the members of Team Hawk. Close call, but not close enough. Team Hawk survives, and they should be able to reset and get all 4 players, well, healthy and alive.
Yeah, Bosskurr has got eyes. If only he took a bit of shot there. That really did. He wasn't able to go in with the revive, and it seems that Bosskurr may have bit a little bit. I mean, Team Hawk has bit a little bit more than they could chew, taking more damage. And they like what the trade is there. Camper takes out Aboy, their best player right now on the Bosskurr's arsenal.
Oh, here goes another fight coming in as he uses that grows out, having a little bit of recall going on, but it's still going to be iShot that will save the day. Not even the Molotov can catch up to him. Here comes another grenade though, and iShots will deplete the rest of Team Hawk. Now down to 3 teams. Team Secret, even with 2, is still not backing down.
Bosskurr though. 9 kills already with Bosskurr. Today they have the most perfect run, I would say. I don't think they had a bad game. The one game that didn't get the points is the one game they sat out, and right now they're just raking in the numbers. Bosskurr just insanely consistent in week number 3.
Oh boy, speak of the devil here. Team Secret getting shot out. So let's see, in this 4 versus 4, who's going to be the biggest victor of them all? 10 points already secured. So even on 2nd place, that puts you up to 22 points without even taking the players off of 4 Rivals. But 4 Rivals, as much as they make their way into the final circle, they've only got 3 points apiece. So if that chicken dinner comes through, they have to land all of these kills against Bosskurr in order to make the cut to tie things evenly.
Man, I don't know. Bosskurr just absolutely stole the show for week number 3. Even if they bow out right now, they probably did better than 4 Rivals themselves in this Miramar map. 10 kills, still 4 members. And now the circle shifted. 4 Rivals is the one who had to make a move. Jumper gets knocked down. It's a 3v4 essentially right now. Bosskurr capitalizing on this. Baburu, he's cooking up the nade, but straight away they're crashing in. Do you have any sort of info on the likes of 4 Rivals? Ayman does. He's been spraying down one direction, gets another member. 4 Rivals now, 2 members left up against the entirety of the CEOs.
Thompson in the late game is something that we don't see that often. And here comes Ayman cooking up that grenade, drops it over the back, damages both teams. Standing by the mini church out there, hoping that he will be able to seek refuge for a little bit longer. Burdo, just by the fences, I'm not too sure if that's going to be the best play that he could actually come up with. But Bosskurr, they don't really have to do too much, they just have to wait. Burdo reveals his own location though. Ayman now going for a little bit more of a push, shoving a little bit more area of play. And they're slowly getting zoned out. Outside of the blue, they might go. And here comes Bosskurr flipping onto Bulky. But Buru, what can he do?
Well, the hunter is now being hunted. It seems one-man army playing within this little square. If they have nades, they don't. But the Molotov is there. He's going to burn himself. Will he confirm the kill? No. Actually, he will deny that last point. From the likes of Bosskurr, he knew it was a suicide mission already and, wow, bites into cyanide and takes his own life.
Well, I'm pretty sure it's definitely going to sting and hurt at the same time. But then again, Bosskurr, try as you may, they will still secure maximum points overall. So that's 14 elimination if he didn't take himself out. So that's 13 total. So some may say 13 ghosts is
lucky number 13. Yeah, they said lucky number 13, or was it the other way around? Is it a bad luck number? I'm not sure. Well, let's not believe in that things. But man, this team, week number 3, stealing the show since day number 1. 2 chickens in day number 1. I believe this is their second chicken as well. And at one time they didn't get a chicken over in Erangel. They still got about 14 kills and 3rd place.
Well, I wish we could talk to the boys, like what really went well for them, that they have all these high motivations to push so hard. Now, reclaiming that #1 title, even though GEEK fans tried to stop them, I think like now we see ourselves a new challenger on the board in this brand new week. My oh my, what an explosion that was. Really outfought everybody out there, takes out the rest of HomeBois. And that was what exactly happened to the team, which we may have missed out.
Yeah, the whole NT fight was a spectacle as well, because for the most part, Axis had the upper hand with them being in the circle first, but NT, they made their maneuver immediately coming behind of the rest of Axis and gatekeeping them, and the tides have turned and shifted really, really hard there.
Yeah, NT definitely got some battles here against Bosskurr as well as members of Genexus, but then again, they were also out in their open plains, which 4 Rivals eventually gets to punish. Team Hawk made it pretty far, but then again, they were not really in the best position to fight against all these other teams. I've really got to say, MAB really is the best player that we see for this week. So I'm not surprised if he's going to end up as the MVP this time around.
Yeah, he just gave the man the trophy already. I mean, he deserved it with that sort of performance. Like, he's really doing damage for his team, right? Like, he's holding that one up. And people said that Zigzag was the clutch master for Bosskurr. Well, might want to step aside a little bit because our boy, he's pulling in the numbers.
That's right. And our boy, let's hope to see him getting a lot more MVP titles. And I wonder if the most MVP titles accrued, would they actually get the prize by the end of the season? Probably yes.
They do. So apparently they have prizes for Terminator of the Week.
Oh.
And so far, I think the first one goes to Team Hawk, second one goes to HYVE, and now the third week.
Is it Team Hawk?
Yeah.
Really?
Apparently so.
Oh, wow.
The first week, I'm blown away myself, man. Blown away.
Okay, and look at this. 28 points out there with 1 point denied. Could have been 29 overall, but Team Secret moves up ahead with 17 points as they are still one of the best teams here in Miramar to play. 4 Rivals, though they secured second spot, they didn't have enough eliminations against all the other 2 teams out there. While Team Hawk, they got 4 takedowns and many more, but it's as far, going as far as he can here to snatch this one away from our boy.
Yeah, I might even say that this dude went above and beyond. Although 3 eliminations, 796 damage, 23% team contribution, which is a bit iffy, right? Because you don't really know what the metrics are. You know that they had a healthy amount of kills, 13 kills, so you can't even argue that he has the biggest slice of that pie.
That's right. Now we take a look at the weekly rankings as we close off the night here with 144 points for Team Bosskurr and 1, 2, 3. Making it easy for GEEK fam. They do slide down to number 2. 4 Rivals now 3rd place finish with 91 points, 79 on 4th. NC makes up the top 5 with 81 points. So the chase is still on. Team Secret bounce back up here with a great finish on 7th place. The Genexus now gets themselves back into the top 10.
Top 10 indeed is first start for recovery, but they are looking to trail on nearly 70 points behind or so. And so Genexus, if this is the last game for the day. Tomorrow they really have to come in strong, and I meant Bosskurr strong. Like every single game has to matter and pull in the numbers for them. But here are the top 3 eliminated so far. Week 3 in day number 2. GEEK fam across the board here. HYVE taking out number 1. Micah at number 2, and Damn Rude taking up the 3rd spot.
And of course, there's no surprise to us because these guys just are made of machines. Like, man, are they cyborgs? You call them aliens. I think like the rest of the more humanly guys are basically cyborgs. Like, literally, Damrit could also chase up the HYVE with 2 more frags. Micah just needs 1 more. Like,
I mean,
it's impressive.
Yeah, they're literally shoulder to shoulders right now. Like, 1 kill could tip the balance. And maybe upset HYVE, because it seems like he was really chasing those kills, and which is a good thing. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. He really wants to earn it and outperform.
Even if he loses out, GEEK fam still wins.
Yeah,
right.
So, I mean, there was a time where his push actually cost them the game. I remember it was that one Miramar, but they got 2nd place. Still noteworthy and a heavy amount of kills, so you can't go wrong with that.
That's right. Big frags coming in from GEEK fam, but then again, big winners here today are Team Bosskurr, because they've got themselves 2 chicken dinners.
Yeah.
Yeah, finally we could say 2 chicken dinners.
2 chicken dinners, and one of those games, a 14 elimination top 3.
Wow. It's just insane. I don't even have words to describe these guys, because they came out of nowhere last week. They started to find that formula hitting into the later stages of the weekend. And then, now lo and behold, they're finally here with the best things to offer. So any Bosskurr fans out there in the comments, go ahead, cheer on for your favorite players, because we're about to also speak to them later this.
Yeah,
I
later.
believe.
I mean,
maybe
hopefully we do get Bosskurr. However, we'll be happy to talk to anyone who's going to be it by the end of the line here. You know, it gets real lonely here in the studio. It's just Contra and myself. And there's only so much.
That's not enough for you.
So there's only so much puns we can come out with before we lose our sanity. Okay.
Right.
That's
how I keep my sanity, though. Like, I can have puns for days.
Sounds like signs of breakdown right there. But well, we're not gonna pull you into our own personal problems. Let's take a look at how this chicken dinner was earned.
Okay, so let's start off here. It's a little bit of a cluster mess down on the south side. Like, you can barely even read names. Like, it's no joke. There's literally 10 teams on that hill around Minas Generalis. And look at 4 rivals. They didn't have to move a muscle. They've been staying put. Well, I guess that's the reason why, because they're not getting any kills, because everyone else were taking each other out. And the closest one that came up to them was literally Team Bosskurr. And from that point onwards, it was a little bit more of a push where Bosskurr was also on top of that hill, overlooking everybody else. We saw RG on the lower side. HomeBois was also taken down in the blink of an eye. And there's so much more that we may have actually missed out, because this match itself was just going topsy-turvy with every single turn we get. So down towards this situation where we have Team HYVE on the open grounds, and honestly, there's nothing much to break down for this current slide because they were so far apart.
Yeah.
But the problem is for HYVE International, they have to find a way in the circle. Same goes to Team Secret. So eventually these 2 teams will be battling it out. So heading into the late game, we saw NC also was fighting against RSG. Once they were done, they were meeting up against the rest of Team HYVE.
I have to give it to Tabah NSEA though. They are the hardest worker in this game, right? They bypassed Axis, took out Axis, took out RSG, and actually, fight against Team HYVE, who was there within the area. Sure, they did not get the chicken dinner, but man, the hell and high water they had to cross here. Bosskurr though, props to them, winning against a team like 4 rivals, which is no easy task. But obviously with the number advantage going on the side of the Team Bosskurr, it was set in stone that this was about to happen.
Then again, they start off on the 4 versus 4.
That's true.
And then eventually, when they know that it's a lost cause, Bumper says, okay, you want that point? You can't get me. I'm taking myself out of here. And they call it a night from then on. still 4 rivals now currently sit at 3rd position. Number 1 has to be Team Bosskurr. So I believe that some of these guys will be speaking out to us when it comes down to how these matches have come into fruition for them, working really well. And they know it's grind time because you can't afford another week to press on, because final week there, I think when teams are desperate, they will do anything to survive. So with that, let's also talk to some of these players out there, and now we will have Sem9 joining us on the call. And of course, let's welcome on board Sem9 as we have their team manager, Jason. Of course, dear friend of mine, how are you doing and how's the rest of the boys holding up here on the 3rd week of the PMPL?
Thanks for asking. I mean, we're doing pretty good. I have to say, it's been a while since seeing you face Contra in real life as well. But yeah, I miss you, buddy. But yeah, I mean, so far, week 3, day 2, we're doing pretty good. The boys are holding up pretty good as well. Everyone is still very hyped up. Even though there is some slumps, but we'll be bouncing back stronger for the next few days.
All right. And we're already seeing a level of consistency being formed by Sem9. Sure, there was also a couple of games where they tend to struggle, but at least on this week itself, you guys are comfortably positioned for the time being, but it's only 2 days. Was there any sort of challenges that you have been able to also address for the team going through some of these weeks? Maybe you could share with us some of the things that you could manage to fix throughout the journey.
Definitely there is, like some slopes during our weeks, since like week 1 and week 2, but we managed to fix them. Sometimes it's just, someone's having a bad day, and even though they're having a bad day, we just try our best to like cheer each other up, hype each other up as much as possible, because like once you have a bad day, you're gonna have bad games. But overall, we are like, right now we're just progressing towards every game together. We focus on every game. We're not gonna be focusing on winning, but we're gonna be focusing on each map. And like after all and said, like everyone is just happy together right now. Everyone's happy, but right now also like there is some challenges, but I could really say, but so far still we are able to overcome it, and I could say we're doing pretty okay right now, even though like there is some issues, but it's all good.
Yeah, it's great to hear that everything's running well. Keith,
I have a question. Yeah, Jason. Hey, what's up, buddy?
Yeah.
It's been a while.
What's up, man? It's been a while.
So what's the attitude in a room right now? Because, highly likely Sem9's already going to the country finals. We know that for sure, right? And everyone's going to start back from, I guess, somewhat zero or a significant amount of leads. Not so much, I would say. Are you guys still trying to experiment stuff throughout the rest of this week, or are you going hard at it despite it being the week number 3?
A little bit of both. We tend to, test out some waters, try something new in the other hand. But so far, yeah, we're doing a little bit of both at the same time.
Okay, that's definitely good to hear. And of course, I know that Sem9 as an organization are having a lot of expectations on where you guys will end up. So what's the goal this time around for Sem9? I know like some people would just say PMGC is what we're aiming for, or it's just one step at a time, a country finals, C finals, and then that. Well, what's the approach here for you?
Well, our approach would definitely be like the first, like you said, Contra. Like the first step would be country finals first. Gotta focus on that because it's coming in 2 weeks' time. After the country finals, we'll definitely be focusing C, and then only we'll think about PMGC. Step-by-step basis.
Okay, awesome. So, of course, with that being said, any last words for Sem9 fans out there, because you guys have been on fire this week. So, for those of the guys who have been cheering you on, any messages to them?
all I have to say is we thank each and every supporter and fans in the bottom of our hearts. Thank you guys for supporting us throughout the whole journey. You know, it's 3 weeks already, and we hope to make you guys proud in our country finals, and hopefully we'll get to see.
All right, of course, we'll see you guys there then. And of course, thank you so much, Jason, for the interview that you've been joining us with. So for now, you guys deserve to get a good break. So we'll see you guys tomorrow.
Looking forward. Bye-bye. Very cool guy. Cool, composed, collected. I mean, I'm saying this as if it's the first time meeting him. So we've met up before in occasionals and events, and you know, it was Hari Raya and so on and forth. When is that happening again? I need some public holidays, man.
Hari Raya, I believe he has passed already. You gotta wait one more
What's
year
the
for
next
that.
big event? PUBG Mobile Country Final.
Deepavali. There's also Christmas.
There's Country Final.
Okay.
And there's also tomorrow.
Yes.
2022
We do
PMPL.
have tomorrow here to spare, but of course, we also have to thank all of you guys for tuning in the entirety of the day. This wraps up the run for our Thursday.
Yep.
So tomorrow on the Friday evening is where we're going to see you once again. My name's Contra, this is Keith, and of course we have to thank all of our partners out there. We start off with Realme, Dare to Leap, and of course Yoodo, powered by Cellcom, where you do it better.
And TikTok, follow PUBG Mobile, okay? This is the 2022 PMPL MY SGPH Fall. We'll see you tomorrow instead. A bit tired right now. Bye-bye.